father reconciled with my estranged mother, and I was not happy about it.
That mom is supposed to be gone.
I, 20 female, was raised by my father, 49 male, alongside my older brothers, Lyle and Kyle. Both 23 male, they're twins. Mom left us shortly after I was born, so I've never really had a maternal figure growing up. I've tried to ask my dad why Mom left, but he would always try to dodge the question. By the way, this comes from Girl at the Gym 67, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Dakota.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, anyways, this kind of messed me up a little bit as a kid because I would always blame myself for her leaving. And it also didn't help that my older brothers would always use the old trusty, "You're why Mom left" card in arguments. During my middle school years, my mom began to call me and my brothers. She swore up and down for years that she wanted me back in her life, but didn't make any effort to get to know me. So that woman broke a lot of promises with me and my brothers. The last straw for me was when she didn't come to a beauty pageant I'd been excited for months. I know that sounds really petty, but at the time it was really important to me, and she swore up and down that she would come. Of course, she broke that promise too. So when Mom called to apologize for not coming, I let that woman have it. I think the call almost lasted an hour and a half, and it was mostly just me cussing her out. Obviously, ever since that phone call, I've been no contact with her. But a few days ago, my dad texted me if I wanted to have dinner with him and the boys, saying that he was going to make my favorite meal. Of course, I agreed. I walk in the house and I hear my dad and my brothers talking. Nothing unusual, of course, but then I hear a woman laugh. So I walked to the kitchen and saw my dad, Lyle, and Kyle laughing and talking with my mother. So at this point, I'm pissed and confused. And I think I thought out loud because I said, "What the F is she doing here?"
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You got ambushed. He should have been like, by the way, your mom's going to be here.
Yeah.
Bad move. Dad just keeps making bad moves.
Yeah. Everyone immediately becomes silent until Dad starts talking. Basically, he says that I need to watch my tone and that all they want to do is talk to me about their future. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Then my mother had the great idea to drop the bombshell that her and Dad got back together and had been dating for months. I think you can understand how gooped I was.
I'm gooped out from this, man.
Gooped. What a great word. Gooped.
I got gooped.
I think you can understand how gooped I was from this information. But then Lyle tells me that basically everyone in the immediate family knew about the relationship besides me because they were worried how I would react. That is like always the case. Well, we were just worried how you would react, so we just didn't tell you.
Yeah, we just hid it from you so that you wouldn't have any time to process in your own way and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Instead, we did it in a way to make sure your reaction would probably be negative.
Yeah. It's just like, people are like, well, we'll just hide it. And then maybe if it's really important, we'll bring it up. It's like, no.
Gooped.
So I'm still standing there, shaking with rage. So when my dad tried to grab my arm to sit me down so we could talk, I snatched it back and basically stormed out of the house. Now, I've been bombarded from text from my dad and Lyle saying I was immature and made Mom cry. My friends are 50-50 on it. So, Reddit. Am I the a-hole? And the verdict here is not the a-hole. And there are some comments. Many Hobbies Gal says, not the a-hole for how you feel. They blindsided you and then blamed you for your reaction. If you choose to have nothing to do with your mother, you shouldn't have to. Realize your father is an adult free to be involved with whomever he chooses.
That is true.
OP says, I know he's a grown man, but I just don't understand what he sees in her. She literally left him with 3 kids to raise all by himself. But now that they're all grown up, she wants to come back? This whole situation just has me in a tizzy, to be honest.
A goop-filled tizzy.
Ugh, the worst kind. Confused at 63 says, it would have been better for your dad to talk to you alone. The fact that they all kept this from you was inconsiderate of you. I am sorry. I've been there in the sense of being left out or always the last to know. Be strong. OP responds, thank you. I just feel so upset and confused with them right now because they never kept anything like this from me. Usually, my dad will address matters with all of us. K5 Hill says, info, was your mother in prison? I'm wondering if she was, and your dad has been in touch with her, visiting even all this time. OP says, honestly, I'm not sure if she was. My dad always said that mom lived over the next state or something. That's all the information he would give me or my siblings. And there is an update. I think we should just get into it. So, before I get into anything, I just wanted to thank everyone for the kind words and reassurance. I honestly was not expecting it at all. I also want to apologize for the late response to everything. I've been so busy with work and other things that I have just not had the time to sit down and respond properly. Anyways, with your guys' advice, I texted my dad and told him that I wanted answers about what the heck was going on. He agreed, but said he wanted to have the dinner over at his place. I had to tell him that he lost that trust when he tried to back me in a corner. I mean, true.
Yeah, it's like, we have dinner at your place. I'm going to have to deal with this again?
Yeah.
How am I going to trust you?
Exactly. I'd be like, no, actually, no. He ended up coming over to my apartment instead. Good. I had my friend, male 24, staying in my sewing room for protection, just in case. As soon as Dad came in, he started sobbing and begging for forgiveness. Aw. He went on about how he just wanted us to be the family that we were 20 years ago, the family I don't even remember. Yeah, that's true. She doesn't have that vision, though.
Yeah, you need to explain what happened and why this is happening now.
Yes. Yeah, you can't just keep her in the dark and just be like, you just need to forget about all that and just like, you know, I just want to be the family we were. But I don't have that. I don't know what that was. You don't say anything.
You can build it or you could try.
Yeah. And just to be clear, these were definitely not crocodile tears. I hugged in to calm him down, but I had to put my foot down and tell him that I wanted answers, not tears. Good. He eventually calmed himself down a little and explained everything I asked him about. My mom was very young when she got together with my dad, and there was a significant age gap. They started dating right after her high school graduation. My mother also had a history of substance use, which was something I had already suspected. I was an unplanned pregnancy, and my parents decided to put my mother in rehab during her pregnancy. She was miserable the entire time, and after I was born, she ran away to Florida. Recently, my mom got clean, got a job, and wanted to apologize to my dad. They rekindled their relationship and decided it would be best to let the twins know first before telling me. It was nice to finally have this information, and I thanked him for being honest with me, but I asked him why she did not apologize to the kids whose hearts she broke constantly. Of course, he immediately started backpedaling, saying that I just needed to give her a chance to prove herself.
No, wait, now hold on now. Her apologizing would be a great way to start proving herself.
For sure.
If she can't see that she abandoned her children, then she has not made enough growth.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like she's coming back for, you know, the dad, which, okay, but also you left 3 kids. So what are you going to do about them? Just not have a relationship? Or
plus, putting yourself back in the exact same context and situation in which you did have substance use problems and you did run away and you like, I don't know. I feel like it could, if you're just recently like clean, it could re-trigger a lot of those behaviors.
Yeah. Like it could definitely like anything. Like, you know, you have a bad day, you have a bad fight, and then it's like, oh, well, you know.
I'm running back to Florida.
Yeah. I'm going back. Especially since the twins already had. On top of that, it was a really crappy move not to even mention to me that mom was back in the picture. I had to explain to him that I have already given her another chance way too many times, and that she destroyed that bridge beyond repair. I did tell him that I was not going to cut him or the twins off over this, but that mom was just going to be a new woman to me. I also told him that we needed to go to therapy without her before continuing any further. Dad was clearly upset when I laid all of this out for him, but he did agree to therapy and said he would tell Lyle and Kyle about it. He did tell the twins. Kyle was understanding, but Lyle was furious. He tried calling me multiple times, and when I would not pick up, he started texting me horrible things. It basically boiled down to him calling me a spoiled brat who needs to get over the past. I gave him a piece of my mind before blocking him, and we have been no contact since. We also had our first therapy session. It was not groundbreaking or anything, mostly just an introduction and talking about what we want to work on. When I was alone with the therapist, I showed her my post to give her more context, because I can be pretty scattered at times. She said she definitely wants to go deeper into my feelings about my mother and eventually include my father and brothers if possible. I will try to give more updates if I can. There is a relevant comment. Way to goop.
Way to goop.
Wait a goop. Commented, I hope the therapy helps. This sounds like the most positive outcome anyone could have hoped for, to be honest. Especially mom. You're definitely owed a huge apology from her. Multiple. It strikes me to not be so hard on your dad. He has clearly loved her this whole time. And Lyle probably saw how hurt and damaged he was after she left, so is happy for him. You are one family, but all experienced and saw different things in this situation. I'm sorry your dad couldn't articulate that. She didn't leave because of you, though. So confusing for a young child and such an easy fix with the right words. OP responds, thank you. It's also been helpful during this situation to see dad's side of things. Makes me put things into perspective, but at the moment I just can't bring myself to have anything to do with my mother. And it also didn't help that Lyle went ape crap on me as well. I'm just hoping everything falls into place in the future. Next Welder 4653, question. Did Kyle ever apologize for what he said to you? Lyle is a lost cause, but I think there's hope for Kyle. Your dad, mom, and brothers need to understand that forgiveness is on your time, not theirs. Just because they've forgiven her doesn't mean you immediately have to. I'm glad that your dad and Kyle are willing to go to therapy. Don't let anyone pressure you to forgive your mother. Also, if you haven't, let your dad know what Lyle said because that is not okay. OP responds, Kyle has apologized to me. We've always been closer to each other. And there is a second update.
I do think, part of me agrees. I agree with part of that comment. But, forgiveness is on your own time and no one can make you forgive anybody. But it's also, forgiveness isn't something that you should hold over as, a leverage on someone else. Because what forgiveness does is it frees you from, whatever negativity and, bad feelings that you have. Once you actually forgive somebody who did do something wrong and, it was bad. But, it frees you from having to hold on to that, I hate them, and it's they were the worst. It's if you can truly let go of it, it does more for you than anyone else.
Yeah. My mom always says that. But there is a second update. More than a week later. So I decided to upload this onto my profile since a lot of people want to know how I'm doing, and it's not that big for an Am I the A-hole post. Firstly, I'm doing pretty well. Good OP. My time has been completely taken over at the salon that I work at. Christmas is just around the corner and I have stuff and materials that I need to get, LOL. But don't worry, I've been making time for therapy with Kyle and Dad. We've been going once a week and I think it's been helping a lot. The therapist has been helping me walk through my feelings about Mom. She's also been helping my dad and Kyle as well. By the way, I want to help you find full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime.
That's all it takes.
That's it. There is some more.
Yay, therapy, helping therapy, yeah!
I think we should just get into it. Kyle has since apologized to me about everything, basically. He's even opened up to his feelings and opinions about Mom also. Though we're in a similar boat when it comes to that. Kyle more anxious and scared about Mom leaving again than mad like me. I'm still 50-50 on my dad. He has apologized for ganging up on me, but hasn't sat down to talk with Mom and Lyle. Kyle literally had to be the one to yell at Lyle for basically going full psycho on me. Speaking of Lyle, he's still mad at me and still isn't joining us for therapy. Apparently, from what Kyle said, he's now mad at me, turning the family against him and Mom. I've been no contact with him and have blocked him on everything, while Kyle has low contact since seeing how he's been treating me.
I mean, it sounds like Lyle's just, scared that you not accepting your mom is going to make her leave again, which, again, is not your fault. That would be on your mom for not being able to deal with the daughter she abandoned having hard feelings about her abandonment.
I think everyone wants to deal with this in their own way, and obviously that's very understandable. But I think that your dad and Kyle are very much open to how it makes you feel because you're the one with the big issue here. So they're like, whatever's going to make this work, we are in it together. As a family, we want to make this work. And I think Lyle is not seeing it from your perspective. And now is, since there's no contact, you can't obviously have a conversation. I feel like things are getting mixed up, You know, maybe
He's probably just scared, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like they used to always be like, "You're the reason mom left."
yeah.
And it's like, clearly you weren't. Clearly it was because she had substance use problems and like didn't want to deal with the responsibility of being a mom to 3 children and ran away to go, you know, be free of all that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Lyle truly does think that's either your fault or that you're gonna make it happen again. He's just scared. He's a scared little baby bird, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. And he's afraid if he goes to therapy and says it out loud that he's gonna be a scared little baby boy for the rest of his life. But that's not true.
Yeah.
I discovered a decade-old family secret, and it ruined me.
Are you adopted?
I'm 39 years old. I was born in Europe and moved to a different country when I was about 3 years old with my mom after my parents divorced. They had been married for well over 10 years. I never knew my father because my mom hated talking about him. I heard there was cheating involved and that he didn't want to pay alimony. By the way, this comes from Cheap Data 6089, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I thought you were going to do the whole thing with
No, just a second.
And Opie says, she had a really hard time raising me on her own, and I've always felt very bad for her. I've been giving her my salary since I started working after finishing high school up until today, just to help out. She's now 70 years old and can't work, so I always do my best to be there for her in any way possible. 14 years ago, I got a message on Facebook from someone carrying my last name. She said she was my sister from another mother and that she would love to speak with me.
Come on, missed opportunity. Sister from another mister.
mister.
Duh. What are you doing?
I told my mom, and she immediately got upset and told me not to answer her. So I didn't. My uncle was aware of this and was really interested in me speaking with my father, but my mom got super upset and told him it wasn't his place. We left it at that.
Bro, where's your rebellious streak?
Fast forward to this morning. I wake up and my uncle sends me a screenshot from my sister's Facebook page mourning the passing of our father. I called my uncle and said, "Wow, what news?" I never got to meet or speak with him, and now I'll never have that opportunity either. It was sad. I was crying a little bit, not because I was sad that I don't have a father anymore, or because I never had a father figure in my life, but because of the disappointment. He never called me, never wished me a happy birthday, nothing. It was just a very disappointing moment. Then my uncle threw something shocking at me. He said, I have to check if he was even my biological father. I asked him where that came from. He didn't really know what to say. He just mentioned that my sister once said something about it and he wasn't sure. I decided that the best thing to do, against my mother's wishes, was to send a message to my sister and speak with her.
See, again, you're 39. You don't need to go, "Mother, may I?" You can just do
Mother?
it. You're 39.
Mother, may I reach out to my sister?
Mother, who's probably now, given the context of the story,
She's
been
70.
lying to me my entire life about who my father is.
Mother?
Can I talk to somebody?
Who do we think it is?
Greg.
Yes.
That dude was laying it down
Greg.
all the time back in the 80s.
Greg on that dance floor? Woo!
Evacuate.
Evacuate the dance floor. She answered me right away. I asked her if we could talk, and I called her. Mind you, I had never spoken with her in my entire life, and she lives on the other side of the world. We were both crying on the phone to one another. She was crying because she was very close to him and just lost him. I cried because of the whole emotion around speaking with her. Never having him in my life, the whole roller coaster of emotions. She was very mature and told me it was a delicate topic when I mentioned how disappointed I was in him. She asked me what I knew. I just told her I knew that he wasn't around and that was it. She told me to basically speak with my mother again to get all the answers. I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I told her she could tell me what I was unaware of. She said that he's basically not my biological father, and that's why he was not interested in having me around.
Unbelievably cruel of your terrible mother to keep this information from you and instead let you think your father was just neglecting you your whole life. Very bad on her part. I'm sure your mom has redeemable qualities, but that is the most selfish, damaging thing I can think of.
That's after you're like mourning his and everything too, or mourning his passing.
And it's not like, oh, we can't tell. You're 40, 39, but you're old enough. You're old enough to be told the truth. You should have been told decades ago. And that's 100% on your mom. And honestly, like, I don't know.
I'm curious about the how they live on opposite sides of the world too.
Yeah.
Like, did you move or did you guys like?
Did you move or did they move? And like,
or was it literally just like your mom used to live there and you never did?
There was no one around to tell you the truth either. Like,
sounds like Uncle knew the whole time too. She told me that when they were together, they were unable to get pregnant, and my mother had an affair with someone who worked for him. That person is my biological father. I've been crying for hours now because my mom never said anything to me, and she probably never will either. It's funny because we always wondered where I got my light eyes from, as both parents have brown eyes and I got green eyes, but I still don't know if this is actually true. She said that after I was born, he stopped paying alimony once he found out. It's supposedly written in some record somewhere with an attorney that already passed away, but nobody knows where that record is these days. However, on the birth certificate, he's written as my father. If it's true, it would make a lot of sense as to why my mother hated talking about him. She was hiding that he's not my biological father. If it's not true and he is my biological father and they got it wrong all these years, then I just know that my mom didn't want anything to do with him. The problem is I'll never get the answers from my mother. I can't even tell her I know all this because she gets upset at every little thing and stops talking to everyone if she doesn't like something.
Dude, your mom sucks. I can say that because she's not my mom. But your mom sucks.
She's done that to me many times in my life, and I don't think I can bear having that happen again.
That's emotional abuse.
She's already older, so I don't want to make her that upset. But it's a really messed up situation, and now I'm just sitting here trying to understand if I had a father that didn't care for me, or if I don't know who the heck my father is. And we have an update.
You need to confront your mother. I don't care how upset she would get. At whatever level of upset she'd be, it would be 1,000% her own fault for having hid the truth from you your entire life instead of telling you who your actual father is. How selfish and horrible of her to make you think you've been neglected by your father your whole life. And you don't even know who your father is. She probably kept him out of your life as well to maintain the illusion.
I think I'd go to Uncle first and be like, hey, listen, I know some things. I know you know some things. I'm going to my mom. Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Tell me everything. I'll keep your name out of it.
Gather as much info as possible so you can be like, I know this. You cannot fool me. I know this is a thing. I know it's a fact. Tell me what's going on. And if you don't tell me, I'm cutting you out. Boom. Take control of the situation.
We have an update. You got anything else? Yes. Update. My entire life, I believed one man was my father.
But it was two men.
Even though he wasn't in my life, I grew up with stories about him being successful and wealthy, that he once gave my mom a glamorous life before their divorce. I always clung to those stories because my real upbringing with my mom was financially hard and unstable. Growing up, I had all their wedding and family photos. I looked at his face for years. In my mind, he never aged because I only saw him frozen in those pictures. That image was always the anchor for where I came from, even if we didn't have a relationship. Alongside the glamorous stories, my mom also told me there were a lot of hardships in that marriage. She never went into detailed stories, but she always bashed him and said he was horrible to her behind closed doors. So I grew up with this strange mix. A father I imagined as successful and impressive, but who was also painted as a monster in many ways. Supposedly the man I grew up believing was my father only gave me his last name so I wouldn't grow up with a different last name. This completely shattered me. The man I thought abandoned me may not have been my father at all, and now I may never know who my real biological father is. Here's there's another layer. My husband had actually reached out to who I thought was my sister about 3 months ago while we were visiting family overseas. I didn't know this at the time. He decided we should have a relationship or acknowledgement of some sort, so he messaged her without telling me. Once I finally spoke with her myself about the passing, I later shared the news with him. And that's when he admitted that he had known for months. She had shared with him the same news months ago. He said he hadn't been able to carry it much longer and felt relieved that it was finally out in the open. He was too afraid to tell me as it was such a sensitive topic.
Then why'd you go digging? Why'd you go digging, my guy? You should have said that. Everyone is like letting you down right now, OP. Why would your husband not tell you? This is unbelievable.
Also, I went back and checked. We don't know if OP's male or female, right?
It
didn't say it at the beginning.
Think so.
It just said I'm 35 or 39.
Why would you do that? Like, imagine you find out Keon's dad's not his dad. How long do you keep that a secret from him?
I don't even think I'd go reaching out to his family without him knowing.
Yeah, you would.
That's already like a giant past boundary.
Yeah, you'd be in the loop. He would be in the loop. Why were you not in the loop?
Especially because if your husband comes out and is like, I don't want you to do that, you don't do it. Like, that's weird to go just their family. When it came time to face my mom, I couldn't bring myself to ask her directly. I've always been scared to confront her because she gets upset about everything, twists conversations, and always puts herself in the victim role. So my husband took the step and asked her on my behalf. Her response was heartbreaking. As soon as they hung up, she called me immediately. She cried, got upset, and then said she doesn't know. She said maybe, could be, I don't think so. No clear answer. Instead, she turned it into how we do things behind her back, claiming that I don't love her, that I embarrassed her and myself, that I have no compassion. Yeah, your mom sucks. She told me things like, you don't have a mother anymore, threatened to sell her apartment and move away, and said she wants no relationship with my husband at all moving forward. I tried to explain my part, but nothing helped. I tried to tell her that I wanted to know my identity, where I came from, but she was too focused on herself.
Oh, OP, you sweet thing. You're just trapped in the cycle.
She said my husband came to her all strong and fierce, which he told me he didn't. I gave her a few hours and then texted her that I love her and that I'm sorry she feels this way. I really tried to show compassion, even though I was very hurt myself and felt like she wasn't considering me, what I need, or what I want to clarify. But it still didn't get through to her. She said she will need my help with doctor's appointments and other things that she's too old to handle, but that would be it in terms of communication. Can you imagine being like, I refuse to talk to you anymore, you're not my child anymore, but I'm a little too old to schedule my doctor's appointments, so like we are going to talk for those things, but nothing else.
You don't have a mother anymore. You have an elderly Medicare client that you need to set appointments for.
It's almost like maybe we should just get you someone that can help with that then, because I'm not your kid anymore. You said it, not me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, uncle, your brother can help you. Someone else can help you. I'm not going to help you with anything. You can have somebody else help you.
I feel devastated. I may never know the truth about who my biological father is. DNA test?
Can't we just do a test for that?
So you're only going to know the results, though, if your father or someone related to your father has also done the test and it's in the database. There was like a big spurt, though, of everybody doing those tests, so I feel like you got like semi-good odds, maybe.
I still never did one of those.
I've never done one.
Boom. They can't get us.
My mom won't talk about it and seems more focused on being the victim than supporting me. She uses silence as punishment and acts as if I committed a crime for even asking. Prior to posting this, she texted me to say I must tell my husband never to contact her again. She claimed that we had made fun of her for months while she cooked for us and did everything with love, and that we were laughing behind her back, which isn't true. I told her already that I had no idea my husband had spoken to her months ago. She repeated again that between me and her, there should only be basic contact. Help when she needs something, and maybe the occasional good morning or good night. This is devastating because we have always been close, and I used to share everything with her.
It's just so clearly like one of the most toxic relationships. And I guarantee you, if you actually decide to be the one to cut everything off, she will come scrambling back to you. She will beg and plead and cry and moan and yell and she'll do anything to try to get you to come back, because now that wasn't her decision. She didn't have the power. You had the power. You took it back. And as soon as you take the power away from her, she can't stand it. But I don't know. I really think that you need to go no contact with your mother if this is how she's going to react to having lied to you for the entirety of your life. And then now it's your fault and you're the bad one.
Yeah, I agree. Don't just keep contact to like make her medical appointments.
Yeah. No, her brother can do that. Someone else can do that. She can hire a service to do it.
She told me that one day I'll regret all of this and she will never forgive us, and that she wants to live alone with no connection to us. By the way, you can always have a connection with us because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. I feel devastated and heartbroken. I may never know the truth about who my biological father is. My mom refuses to talk about it and has now pulled away from me almost completely. I ordered a DNA test. I don't know if it'll show me any clarity, as both men are almost from the same area in Europe, so I am more focused about her now. My question is, how do I move forward from here?
Therapy.
I know how stubborn she can be, and if she exes someone from her life, there is no second chances. That's the end of that story.
I never knew my father, but I found him with a DNA test. Luke, I am your father. I, 23 female, had grown up without a father. A little bit of background, my mom had a substance use problem, so home wasn't an option for her to stay at anymore. She would hop from place to place, living where she could, whether it be with friends, boyfriends, bad guys, etc. She later found out she was pregnant after getting into a car accident.
Ooh.
That is a crazy chain of events.
Yeah. Also a terrifying way to find out that you're pregnant when you just got into, presumably they just did a bunch of tests. Oh.
Yeah. That
Scary.
was enough to scare her into the reality that she needed to grow up. She got her act together, went to college, and is now almost 10 years sober, living her best life. By the way, this comes from user MEGA Laxo. And if you want to submit your own stories, you go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. And OP says, with that past in mind, though, you can kind of understand why it wasn't anyone's fault not knowing. She had a lot of so-called friends who were men, no shade. Mom gotta do what you gotta do. My mother was young, dumb, and made decisions she regrets, but I never held that against her. Growing up, I didn't have any trust in men. I resented almost all the guys she would date or have over. I was never treated awfully, but I never let myself get close to or be alone with them at any moment. Fast forward to now, and I'm engaged to my fiance, 23 male, of almost 8 years.
Congratulations. Wow.
I have learned to trust through him and even have a better view on men while not completely hating. LOL. I also got to know his father, who isn't perfect but loves me like his own, as well as having my mother's father, who was always there if I was in trouble and would educate me on stereotypical men things like cars and fishing and fiction things. I'm extremely grateful for both of them to be in my life. Me and my mom are on really good terms now, and we would have frequent talks about who my father could be. All she remembers is before she was in the car accident, she had eyes for a guy who worked at a liquor store, and that he would let her crash at his place before he left to a different state. She never remembered his name, though. Last Christmas, my soon-to-be mother-in-law gifted us both ancestral DNA kits.
Who?
My fiancé would always say things like, maybe this will help you find your dad. I would shrug it off or seem uninterested because I was more curious to see what ethnic background I had.
Well, I think you'll find both, probably.
8 weeks after I sent off the test, we finally got results, and I was shocked. Not only did I find out that I have multiple African countries in my percentile, I found my half-brother on my father's side. Who would have known this would change everything? I saw that we shared a whopping 25% of DNA, and
That's
I
a
got
lot.
curious. My interest in finding who my dad was immediately sparked into existence. It was like I actually had a chance. My first thought was the Facebook, And wouldn't you know, he had one. I messaged him explaining the situation. Before sending it, I had so many thoughts, like, what if he thought I was lying? So I made sure to send a screenshot of the results. What if he doesn't care or doesn't want anything to do with me? I hesitated a lot, but after staring at the send button, something inside me said, push it.
Do it. Press it.
Push the button. Okay, I pushed it, and it happened. Days go by, and nothing, until there was something. Oh, just like the universe.
It's true.
He was so happy to hear there was another person in his tribe. He's very down to earth.
Tribe?
I was so relieved I started bombarding him with questions, but also apologizing if I was bothering him. He was always late to reply, but I was patient. I expected the worst and was ready to, if he decided one day to just stop replying altogether. He finally told me his father's name, and I decided to search for him as well, but found nothing. It wasn't until he posted a picture with him and tagged his Instagram that I would find him. I DM'd him on Instagram and was so amazed by the response. It turns out, even though he doesn't remember my mother, he lived in the same area as her before moving out of state and worked at a liquor store.
The liquor store man. It's all coming together.
The liquor store man. Things started to add up, like the receipt at a liquor store. He gave me his number so that we could keep in touch and talk about other little details that might spark his memory. He would constantly tell me, "You look like us." That's why I'm still actively invested.
What?
What does that
You
mean?
look like us. That's
look
the
like
only
us.
reason I'm still here.
You look like us. You look like us. You look like us. He said he would take a DNA test as well from the same website so we would both know. He has 5 other children and is a big family man. He loves his kids and would talk to me about them. Since we both had our hopes up, he would shoot notes like, your brother, your sister, your auntie, like he was accepting me, even though he didn't know 100% for sure yet. All we knew was that his son was my brother.
Well,
That's a pretty
Well,
good indicator.
he's like, I don't know for sure. All I know is my son's your brother.
Yeah.
But that could mean anything.
That, who knows what that could really mean. I had a little doubt. Like, what if it's off by a bit? Maybe he's my cousin and not my brother. Regardless, we're family though, right? I had to prepare myself for the worst, just in case. After talking for 4 months, we finally got the results back. It was a normal day. I was on my phone when he sent me a screenshot of the results that read, "You and me are a match of 50% daughter and father." My fiance was cooking dinner when I showed him. I broke down in his arms. It was like a huge weight had lifted off my shoulders. My heart was racing. Felt like I was having a panic attack filled with joy. I finally got answers that I wasn't even searching for until now. We talked on FaceTime for the first time and both cried. He apologized for not being there for all of my firsts. First walk, first talk, first love, first heartbreak. Everything a father should be there for his daughter. I told him he had nothing to be sorry for, and he had no idea and wouldn't have known. He's been so nice and everything I could ask for in a father. I can't lie, it's a bit weird for me, and I'll need some getting used to. I mean, I don't even call my fiance's dad, Dad. Well, that's because he's not your dad.
That one's different. But
He's
you don't have
not
to call
your
your
dad.
You don't have to call your new dad yet. Take your time.
Call him Pop.
Yeah.
Call him Papa, as long as he does not lie.
So true.
I never had someone to call Dad until now. He has messaged me every day since then, telling me good morning and to have a great day, and that we'll talk more in depth and make plans to meet up to see my other side of the family. I was excited as well as nervous. This is a whole other chapter in my life that's about to unlock. I always felt like things happen for a reason, and that since it's happening right now, it's the best time. I truly can't wait for this adventure. I can't thank my mother-in-law enough for this. I mean, I always wanted to do a DNA test, but it was always too expensive or I'll get around to it. I am forever grateful. Advice, please. And there are some comments.
I don't even know if you need advice.
And that's pretty much the most intense, situation you could be put in. So I
Exactly.
think outside of that, I think you've got it under control.
I mean, your dad wants to know you. I'm sure his family wants to know you. And just take it, one day at a time.
One day at a time. Comments. You say no shade to your mom for having many male friends. But isn't that why you grew up not trusting any men? Aren't you supposed to actually hate your mother, OP? Shouldn't you despise her? Shut up.
Come on, commenter. Come on.
Shut up, guy.
It's not the point of the point of the story.
This guy's trying to make you hate your mom. OP says, good point. No!
Wait. What else does this say?
I was technically talking about before I was born, but she still had many guys in and out of her life after I was. So I did have some shade. But I've grown and forgiven all of her mistakes. Haha, nana boo-boo.
Joke's on you, commenter.
Not living with her anymore, it made a huge difference in our relationship. And there is an update from 2 years later.
Oh boy, that's a lot of you. I think that everything worked out.
My mother-in-law gifted me an Ancestry.com test kit, blah, blah, blah. I found my half-brother, blah, 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 which led to my father, and it was the best-case scenario you could think of. He was so accepting, and it was a magical moment.
Yay.
I don't want to make a huge update, probably because I am a yapologist, because I don't think this will ever get read on the 2HTYT, but it doesn't hurt to try,
Well,
right?
it's being read here.
It's being read here
Yeah,
instead,
It's being read
dude.
right here, and
It's
ain't
being
that better?
read.
You spoke that into existence.
Ain't that
Congrats.
better?
Right after I posted this, I met my dad a couple of months later. My now husband and I flew to Arizona, and he greeted me with one of my younger brothers, 21 at the time. I gave him a big hug, and we both cried. The rest of the trip was hours of catching up. I brought baby pictures to show, told stories of my childhood, and it was sudden, but we even went on a little road trip together to Sedona with his wife and my 3 younger siblings. It was definitely fast-paced for my brain to even react. However, all of this couldn't have worked out better. Him, my siblings, and his wife all accepted me with open arms. It was the trip of a lifetime. We had our moments when there were no words and just realization. I had a father who happened to be a great guy, and he had a daughter that he missed out so much with. To this day, he apologizes for not being there. That if he knew, my life wouldn't have had to be missing that other piece that created me, because he is everything I am that's different from my family.
Oh.
We're both patient and good listeners. We're both fire signs. So we
Ooh.
immediately bonded.
Oh.
LOL.
That's cool.
What are you, Prince Zuko over here?
Yeah.
We are both introverted extroverts and wear our hearts on our sleeve.
I'm an
He's spiritually inclined, and we can talk freely about our beliefs and discuss similarities. He's Christian, and I'm a scientific believer / semi-Christian. We are empathetic, and when we talk, it's so natural, like I've always known him, and that he was just waiting for me. Later that year, I got married, and of course, him and my siblings were invited, and they came. His wife is shy and decided to stay behind with my sister, who's autistic and doesn't travel well, which she is my only sister, by the way, and I always wanted one. My other side of the family was so excited to meet them and questioned if he would be walking me down the aisle. I responded with no, and he's okay with that, because I don't know if it's just me, but we just met and we're still not that close, so I felt like that job was made for someone who would literally be giving me away.
Aw.
So my grandpa did,
Aw.
and everything was beautiful. We did have a father-daughter dance, though.
That's nice.
That's nice and level-headed.
Yeah.
I like all this.
Good job.
Literally a thing I never thought I would get, a father-daughter dance.
Oh.
He even made a speech that wasn't expected, but man, did he deliver. The tears were flowing from everyone. I still danced with my mom, but also encouraged all mothers and daughters to come up and dance as well. It was to slipping through my fingers from Mamma Mia.
Aww.
Both moments were so special and made that the best night of my life. Now I've gotten even closer with him and his side of the family. People have reached out and added me on the Facebook and even texted me out of the blue, informing me they were from his side. I've never felt so loved by strangers in my life. It made me think of myself and how I was content with never finding this out and being okay if I had never gotten a DNA test. But where would my life be right now?
Your life is better.
That's
Shout
right.
out to your grandma. Who gave the DNA test?
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law. Shout out to your mother-in-law. Say, hey, thank you, mother-in-law,
Say
for
it.
getting that for me.
Say, hey, thank you, mother-in-law.
Hey, thank you. That's awesome. This is
Shout
a great
out.
story.
Shout out, mother-in-law.
Shout
and also
out.
shout out to the full episode, the stories just like this that you can listen to on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. Just search OK Storytime. Bang, bang, bang. And you can listen until your ears fall off of your head. And you got to go to the doctor and get them glued back on.
It's true.
It's never happened yet.
But we're
That we
always
know
on the
of.
ready.
We don't know yet.
We're
Just wanna
always
put
ready
it out
for it.
there. Be ready to put them on ice. Because you've got a lot of listening to do.
Oh, yeah. It just got so bright. My eyes hurt.
Well, this was life-changing. And I thank a higher power for sending me such amazing people that happen to be of my own flesh and blood. I hope y'all like this update. It'll probably be the last. Happy endings are always my favorite, and hopefully I can inspire others that are in my situation. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, I still recommend trying to find out where you came from and what your history is. It was fascinating finding out the little traits I had that were passed down to me. And we have a couple comments here. OP responding to a question if she knows how her parents met. OP says, so it was complicated, but she was in and out of homes and he let her crash a while, but they were both young and supposedly only had a couple nights together. My mom said he had to leave town because he had a 4-year-old, my brother, who I had found on Ancestry, and left way before she knew she was pregnant, and she had other partners between then, so I've shown pictures of both of them to each other, and they don't remember each other at
Dang.
all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But fair.
Granted, this was 25 years ago. And OP on her mother's reaction when learning about OP finding and reuniting with the bio father, she was just as shocked as I was, and she was all for me finding out. If she was worried, she didn't show it. I think she trusted that he was a good man from the screenshots I sent her of messages between him and I. If anything, she was excited to meet and reunite with him just as much as I was, since she was just as curious. And that is the end of that story.
Heck yeah. Great story. 10 out of 10 for the win.
Wonderbar.
Loved that. I'm happy. And I'm happy about that.
Yes.
My parents ignored me for decades, but now they want a big birthday party.
I would also like a big birthday party.
I'm in my 30s, 29 male, I am, and I have an older brother, male 32, and a sister, female 27. My parents are close to 60 years old. By the way, this comes from user NoAspect221, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
And I'm Savannah.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so please let us know what you do in the comments. As Opie says, the shortest background I can give up is that when I was a child, my parents had to juggle between working, raising us, and somehow finding a bit of time for themselves. Being the middle child, it was a typical situation where I was too young for some things and too old for others. My dad took on a greater role in being present for my brother, and my mom did the same with my sister. So I usually ended up with whatever parent was free. Or tagging along with one who had an activity with one of my siblings that was closer to my age. Other times, I had to rely on a relative or family friend. In general, it was fine. It wasn't like they neglected me. It's just that, being the one who got passed around. I didn't develop a special bond like my brother has with my dad or my sister with my mom. Of course, there were moments when it hurt a little not to have that, but as a kid, you adapt and you get used to it. I grew more independent. Of course, there were some times when I tried to be better than my siblings to see if I can get more attention, and other times I acted out for the same reason, but nothing ever changed. One day, at around 12 years old, I just got tired of the situation and decided to focus on doing the things I liked. A benefit of being the middle child is that you fly a bit more under your parents' radar. So as a kid, I had a fair share of adventures. At the end of the day, my story isn't different from that of many other middle children. Some empty seats at events, some half-forgotten birthdays that were saved at the last minute with a store-bought cake. Perhaps the hardest thing was that a semester before graduating from high school, when I was preparing everything to go to college, my dad and I had a conversation where he explained to me that finances were tight, and they had spent a significant amount of their savings to pay for my brother's college and housing. He wasn't in another city, so he didn't think he could afford to pay for mine. He said we should look for other financing options and that later on he would help me. Used to fending for myself, I got a job as a cashier in a store during the week. I waited tables on weekends and applied for a student loan. From then on, I didn't stop working until I graduated college. All the money went toward paying the loan's interest. Yeah, those suck. When I graduated, I was exhausted, and the worst was yet to come, paying off the massive loan. I tightened my belt, and over the last 5 years, did everything possible to pay it off. And over time, side projects, and nearly 4 months ago, I finally finished paying it. The first thing I did wasn't to celebrate or anything. Instead, I only worked the required hours for the next month and spent the rest of my time sleeping. Maybe I was a little depressed, or it was just exhaustion. When the month passed, I got my paycheck, and for the first time, I saw money left in my account. My mood changed. I felt much better, fulfilled in a way. Now, I only had to work for my future. The first thing I did was celebrate with my family. I invited them to a nice restaurant, and when dessert came, I paused. I asked for their attention and told them that today I was celebrating I was celebrating with the most important people in my life because I'd finally finished paying off my student loan. And that's when it all went to heck. My siblings had no idea that my parents hadn't paid for my studies. Oh. My mom went silent, and my dad looked ashamed, with an expression that was both sad and embarrassed. My dad told me, with a look of regret, to come over to the house during the week and that he would keep his promise to pay me back. It felt like I had had a bucket of cold water thrown on me. My siblings had a look of guilt because I was the only one who had to rely on a loan to study. My celebration, my achievement overshadowed not a congratulations or we're proud of you, just a I'll pay you back, followed by uncomfortable silence. Needless to say, dessert didn't taste good, and the dinner ended on the strange note.
Now, honestly, that reminds me of my dad, actually, because he is also one of 4 and also the third child, and his parents paid for the all of their children's like studies except for my dad for some reason.
What?
And there really isn't a reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so my dad like was the only one who had to pay for college and go through all
And
that.
did he bring that up to to your grandparents?
He just I don't think so, honestly. I think he was just like, it is what it is. I don't know. It's not like they had like, a vendetta against him or anything. It's just I don't know what happened. It's a weird dynamic.
Interesting. Ugh.
Yeah, so
Is
that's
there like a
thing.
weird like he is everyone cool or is he like still hold that against them? If you don't mind me asking.
No, like nobody like holds nobody holds that against him. Like he doesn't even hold it against him. He's like, yeah, whatever, I just had to work harder and like pay it off.
Yeah,
and
your dad's like,
whatnot,
I'm
so.
self-sufficient. I did things.
Yeah, he's not like, how dare you give me money, type of thing. But yeah, they play favorites in that family, so I don't know.
Yeah, it shows.
And unfortunately, none of us are the favorite.
Oh no. The walk to the parking lot wasn't any different. Over the next month, I didn't go to my parents' house, and communication was minimal. Eventually, my sister visited me to talk about it. At first, I didn't want to talk, but her persistence won me over, and finally, the words started to come out. Everything, the little oversights, the lack of a bond, the empty chairs, and many other things, always clarifying that I love my parents, but it hurts that even this time, they couldn't congratulate me and feel proud of me. That, my reason for celebrating, was a reason for their shame, and I'm hurt by that. I told her I needed some time to process things before going back to family lunches and other activities we used to do. A couple weeks later, I went to the family lunch, and things got awkward. My parents were overly interested in my life. They were overcompensating, with compliments coming non-stop, which quickly started to annoy me. And I asked them to stop the show and go back to how things were before. My mom told me she was sorry and that they were trying to make things right. I explained that there was nothing to fix, that our relationship is what it is, and that there's nothing wrong with it, and that trying to change it now feels pointless and makes me uncomfortable. My siblings trying to lighten the mood, but I think this is something we need to take slowly and let things return to normal on their own. Anyway, my 30th birthday is around the corner, and I just found out that my family's planning a big party with friends and family. For 29 years, all my celebrations have been small. Why would I want a big social event now? It's too much. I spoke with my dad and told him to stop, that our relationship is what it is, and honestly, this new, extra loving and involved parents angle isn't natural. I asked him to please cancel the party and just have something small. Just the 5 of us, and if my siblings want, they can bring their partners, but nothing more. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast apps such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. We're almost 30 years deep, and now you want to show me all this love, Mom and Dad?
I don't know. I just feel like I mean, I understand that they, maybe they didn't realize it at the time. And plus, the other thing that I don't like is, I don't know if OP ever tried to, state how they feel. And they just assumed that they were doing that on purpose. And then now, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, my God, we didn't realize that. Because sometimes you don't notice something when you're, in the moment or doing it. And, just being everything's fine. I didn't realize that I was putting extra attention towards these other kids or whatever. And, and then for you to be yeah, it's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. I feel for the parents. I also understand where OP's coming from. I don't think that they're wrong in feeling how they feel. I think it's completely validated, but I also think that, you asked for you kind of wanted them to be more present, but now that they're giving you attention, you're like, ooh, this is weird. I don't like it. So it's double-edged sword.
Yeah, and I feel 100% OP tried to communicate this as a child and was that's it. This is what I'm used to. This is the treatment I'm going to get. And maybe they didn't. But
yeah,
they got,
because how they were talking to saying they would try to get extra attention or try to act out to get extra attention, or
and they never got it.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, when I guess you're a child, so you didn't know you could just literally communicate that, but and it's weird that that family dinner was where that whole thing kind of blew up, and and that does suck that they took away from your big moment of oh my God, I paid off my student loans, woo, and now everyone's like, what?
You had student loans?
Yeah, what's that like?
I don't think it's not on your brother, it's on your sister. It's definitely on your parents that they did fail you. This made you who you are today, and you worked your butt off. So I'm proud of you, and I know you're proud of yourself, and I don't think you need your parents to be I don't need this. I feel like they're going to be love bombing you for a while because they're going to try and make up for the last 29 years or 28 years or, however many years that they really failed you as parents. So let's go ahead and finish up this story. Now my parents are sad. My brother is uncomfortable, and my sister is angry because I'm not letting them fix things. Dang, they're a bit late. 20 years late. I love my family, but the relationship they now want to have with me isn't my thing. Besides, I feel like they're doing it more for themselves to feel better rather than for me. Anyway, that's how things are in my life right now. I don't expect a magical solution. Feel free to share your thoughts. Can you think of any way to get things back to how they were? And that is the end of that story.
My husband repeatedly broke my boundaries, then asked me to sympathize with him.
Don't sympathize with him.
I'm currently pregnant with my second child. I found out 3 days before Christmas and told my husband the following day. He was pleased, myself excited, but more than a little nervous. A big mixed bag of feelings. By the way, this comes from OK Establishment 7358, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, for this and other reasons, I asked my husband if we could keep the news between us for a while and let me process and adjust to this new reality before sharing with our friends and family. His response, I'm so excited. Can I just tell work friends?
What didn't you get? Yeah, what didn't you get from don't tell anyone?
No. I repeated that I would prefer to keep it between us for now, and at least to get through the holidays without all the focus on us. Fewer than 10 minutes later, he says, work friend is super happy for us. And I told other friend. She says, congrats.
So you told 2 people now.
That's crazy.
You know what's going to happen? It's going to spread
They're
like
all
wildfire.
gonna tell other people too. I let him know I was disappointed and I thought his behavior was super disrespectful and crappy. but whatever, it's out of my hands now. He assured me that he wasn't going to tell anyone else. Fast forward through the weeks following Christmas, during which he pestered and pressured me to tell his family members before I was ready. Again, we had his parents casually over for coffee one night, and he let it slip without my consent because he's just so excited.
He didn't just let it slip. He
meant to do that.
Yeah.
Repeat this process with a few other friends and family members. For whatever reason, he hasn't yet let it slip to his paternal grandparents. Because of this, his dad has been pressuring him to call them. Today, his dad gave him an ultimatum. He would say something before the end of the day if my husband didn't.
Why?
No.
Wait, why is it so pertinent
No.
to tell the grandparents right now?
Literally no. Husband comes home in a super disagreeable mood and proceeds to vent to me about his dad's total lack of consideration and how angry he is over this ultimatum. I calmly listen to him and I agree. It's not a nice thing to do. It's not his dad's news to share. It is inconsiderate. But this is where maybe I'm the a-hole. I love you, but does this maybe give you some context for how it felt when you did the same thing to me? He then gets even angrier and tells me that it's not the same situation at all. Criticizes me for making it about myself. Says I have a victim mindset. He just needs support from me and not whatever this is.
Someone's a little baby.
Little baby.
I know it's the holidays and
Yeah, you
all.
can't keep a secret.
He sounds like a little kid for like, I want to open the present now. Can I open
Yeah.
the present now? Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do
It's
it?
like-
It was an accident. I accidentally
too
ripped
late.
it. I ripped some of it, so I guess I just have to rip it all.
You know what would have prevented your dad from giving you an ultimatum about telling your grandparents?
Not telling him.
Yeah, pretty simple. I then also blew up at him, defending myself, and we've hardly spoken for the rest of the night. I can't wrap my head around him wanting sympathy from me after repeatedly hurting me with almost the same behavior. But is it not the same situation? Is he right? Should I have put my own resentment aside to help him feel better? Did I selfishly make it about me? Maybe he would have made the connection without me pointing it out, or maybe he would have been more receptive if I just gave him a hug and let him calm down for a while. I don't think so. I'm still livid. But please tell me what you think, outside observer. And there are some comments, but do you have any comments of your own?
My, how the tables have turned.
How the tables have tabled, buddy.
Literally. Yeah, does it suck?
Yeah.
He caused this, and you told him
Literally,
just
yeah.
to wait.
It is all your fault, dude. Everything that you caused.
I mean, the fact that you told him blatantly, hey, don't tell anybody. He's like, can I just tell my work friends? And
Yeah.
you said no, and you told his work friends. And he's like, that's the last people I'll tell. Yes, I get it. He's very excited.
Sure, but if your partner says, hey, give me like a little bit of time,
Well, just,
and
like,
also just
can we wait?
generally, it is more common for people to wait to tell people because of complications.
Wait a little bit. What's wrong with waiting just a tiny bit? I get it. Everyone's really excited.
Yeah.
I guarantee you OP was super excited and wanted to tell everybody, but they were just like, can we just let things pass first and then, ease into it? Come on, man.
Comments. Comment 1, not the a-hole. Your husband is a hypocrite. He did the exact same thing to you. And now he's shocked when his dad does it to him. He needs to learn to respect your boundaries, just like you had to learn to respect his. You're not being selfish. You're allowed to be upset. Reply says, interesting that his dad is treating him the same way he is treating her.
Apple doesn't fall far from
Reply.
the tree.
Yeah, he learned it from somewhere. Comment 2 says, and this isn't even touching the surface of how twisted that relationship must be with your in-laws. / cannot imagine someone threatening to share something so personal. I would immediately explain to the father-in-law that they will be on an information diet. There is no trust anymore and boundaries are broken. The husband and the in-laws sound awful. Comment 3 says, criticizes you for making your pregnancy about yourself. Did I effing read that correctly? Not the a-hole, and I seriously hope this is just a brain fart on his part and not a part of a pattern of how he treats you and your feelings. That first part made me LOL, says OP. Also LOLing because it totally is a pattern. Ah.
Don't laugh at that pattern. That's not a funny pattern.
Uh-oh.
That's a really bad pattern.
Common force is not the a-hole. You are correct. He is a man baby. You should be even more angry than the initial betrayal because he clearly hates it being done to him, but is fine with doing the same thing to you. Reconsider marriage and pregnancy. OP says, this is the part that has my head spinning the most. He clearly feels it's inappropriate behavior, but not when he does it to me, and then thinks I'll actually feel sorry for him. It's actually insane. It makes me worry about his mental health, that he doesn't see how bat crap this logic is, and mine. If I were my friend seeking advice, I would be having some words starts with me. Update.
Yikes.
I'm worried.
Yikes
I'm worried.
on a bike.
You're about to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband has totally ignored everything that you've asked of him.
And this is a common pattern.
Yeah, and you've already said this is a pattern. I'm not feeling too confident, but maybe y'all can work it out and he'll realize because his dad's treating him like this that he was in the wrong.
Do you think he'll understand that, or he'll just still be a man baby and like, I don't know, you're wrong. He'll just like keep pointing the finger at OP.
I think he might still be a man baby.
Yeah, and we still haven't addressed the big elephant. Well, there's two big elephants in the room. Is that, and then the other one is again the in-laws.
Yeah,
kinda threatening him. Or threatening.
Crazy. I would not want to tell them anything
Yeah,
if that was their behavior.
Yeah.
Update. I gave birth to my beautiful baby girl in early August.
Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations. The birth itself was mildly traumatic, but that's a whole other story. She's the best baby ever, tied, of course, with my first, who's equally awesome. So many of you reached out with resources about self-absorbed people, and I was deep in denial that it could be happening to me. Now that I've learned more about what it looks and feels like, I'm not so sure anymore. Our relationship is not happy, and parenting with this man is exhausting. I'm doing what I can to preserve the relationship and protect my kids, but I truly don't know how this story ends. I see a therapist when I can afford it. We go to couples counseling when it's logistically possible. And I'm slowly working toward being self-sufficient in case it's not safe to stay. Anyone got leads on online employment for sociology grads? I'm being intentionally vague because I'm a real person going through this in real time, doing my best for myself and my incredible children. Please remember that. I'm deeply grateful to everyone who helped me realize that I'm allowed to ask for help. In some ways, I'm doing better than ever. My confidence is slowly building back up for one thing. But honestly, life with this man is miserable right now. At least I can laugh about it. Kind of.
Oh man, that's ugh.
A lot of people in the original comments condemned me for having children with him. Girl, how was she supposed to know? Why are you attacking her? She didn't know.
I mean, if the pattern was before, but
Yeah, but you don't really know how bad the pattern is until it gets real bad. And I'm assuming it wasn't that bad until now.
Yeah, probably.
Trust me, I beat myself up for that almost every single day. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe some of you haven't had much personal experience with toxic people. Believe it or not, I'm not just some bumbling idiot who decided to make everyone's life miserable and let some guy walk all over me. I met a man who, by all appearances, was my perfect match. And it really felt that way for years and years into our relationship. Then things started to change. I still love him very much. I think I was overly permissive with him and brushed things aside or ignored early red flags because I have a high level of understanding and optimism. And I always want to see the best in people, sometimes obviously to my detriment. By the way, it wouldn't be to your detriment if you listened to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search for Focus Storytime. It just wouldn't be to your detriment.
Yeah.
It would be a win. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Dang, it seems like you're trying to do everything you can to navigate this relationship with him as a partner and as a father.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're doing couples counseling, you're doing therapy for yourself. I hope maybe he's doing therapy for himself. I don't know. And things are just not working. I don't know if that's really the case and you're just not happy. I was gonna say, where's your family involved in this? Like, maybe you can stay with them, take some time apart to like really just, sometimes you just need to just get away from each other before it just gets, claustrophobic in a sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like
it seems like you tried
it
it
sounds like she's kind of done with him.
It seems like you're at your wit's end and
Yeah.
you've tried everything and nothing is working. I guess that's just
I
like,
think he needs a lot of individual therapy.
100%.
Yeah. OP continues. He's still dealing with the trauma of his own childhood, but I'm slowly learning that it's not my job to own that. But that's enough. That's none of your business. What I'm trying to say is that people and relationships are complex, and it would all be a little easier if we looked out for each other with love and support. Don't fall into the typical black and white thinking, touch grass, as they say. To everyone who reached out with kindness or empathy, thank you. You helped me start to see myself and my situation more clearly. I still have a long, hard road to walk on, but it might have taken me years to get to this point on my own, so I truly appreciate you. And that is the end of that story.
My father's girlfriend pestered me to clean my room, so I gave her a reality check.
You're not my mom.
I, 24 female, have been living with my dad and his girlfriend for 2 years now. Overall, we get along pretty well. My mom lives in another town and she has a mental disease. Long story short, my mom won't get any treatment or therapy, so I just go to see her when I can and try to spend time with her. By the way, this comes from user L Jimmy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
I'm Angie.
and we're here to give good advice goofily. We only know what we do. We don't have all the answers, unfortunately. So let us know what you do in the comments. OP says, I know she'll never get better, and it's been difficult to deal with. I've been going to therapy for almost a year, and I've gotten better at handling it, but it's still hard. I've been dealing with this since I was like around 20, but I've only started to speak about it more openly now that I go to therapy. My dad knows this, and so does his girlfriend. I went to visit my mom this weekend. I love her with all my heart, but it always takes a lot of my emotional effort to do this. She has some type of schizophrenia. She hears things, and she genuinely believes that people are after her. In her mind, there are hackers, unalivers, and police trying to capture her. Can't explain in detail, but I hope you get the idea. So spending time with my mom is difficult. It's like a life-risky mission every day for her.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow. I have fun and we do things together, but it still requires a lot of patience. I came back today, Sunday evening, and Dad's girlfriend asked if I was okay. I said yes. She immediately said, and don't leave your room like that when you leave. This isn't the first time I come back home, and it's the first thing she tells me. I just started crying in silence. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I cleaned up my room every single day for weeks. It was this one day because all my energy was for me to visit my mom. Because, as I said, it is emotionally hard. I really don't think it's that important. Not more important than my own mental health, at least. And I just barely got home, where I feel like I should be able to relax maybe a little bit. She didn't give me a break. I didn't even spend 5 minutes home. So, when she noticed I was crying, I just said everything. I told her she could have waited for me to settle for just a little bit before telling me, or just trust that I'd do it tomorrow morning. I was going to do so. That what I'm doing is emotionally draining, and that it's just this one day. I just got here, and I should be able to relax at home. That I have a process that my mom will never get better, and while I may look okay on the outside, I am fighting every day on the inside. I told her all this and more, but I tried not to hurt her and be careful with my words. But it looked like she was feeling bad anyway, even though my point was only that I needed a bit more patience and sensibility. I told her I don't want her to feel bad, just to consider how hard it can be for me. There was a lot of tension before they went to sleep. I thought about apologizing, but I didn't. I just don't feel sorry. It's how I felt, and I was trying to communicate how she made me feel. But I don't know. Maybe I was too sensible and dramatic, or maybe she didn't understand me. I'm not sure. Am I the a-hole? And there is an update. What say you, Angie?
I don't think so. I think you're going through a really hard time and you're totally fine in sharing your feelings. You weren't even saying like you're a terrible you're a terrible person for saying this and that. You're blah 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 blah. Like you were just saying this is how insane I feel right now.
Yeah.
And I just need you to know that.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I think there's a time and place for things, especially if she knew you went to go see your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you may seem okay on the outside, but she should have a clue, your dad's girlfriend should have a clue that, like, yeah, that's definitely draining. And the one thing she says to you, not even with, like, first thing you come through the door is, how are you? Okay? Go clean your room. Make sure not to leave your room like that.
Yeah, like
Read the room. Read, like, come on. Just have a little bit of sensibility. Like, oh, I'm going to cook dinner. I saw your room. Maybe you should have cleaned up her room for her just to do something nice. I mean, she doesn't have to, but come on. It's kind of just read the room or read the person. It's not hard, and like put two and two together.
don't talk to a 24-year-old like that.
Yeah, I can see OP just be like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on. We do have an update. It has been almost a month since I made this post, and I wanted to post an update. So some of you said that Dad's girlfriend wants me out of the house. That is not true, thankfully. But it did make me think about why she seemed to think I didn't help enough. Well, I thought I did. I noticed that every time I offer to do something, she always says no. If I say, can I help you with that? The answer is no. If I say, hey, I can buy that for you, another no. It doesn't matter what it is, she always refuses. So after a couple days, I asked her if she was hurt by my words. It was awkward and tense to bring it up, but I knew it was needed. She said yes, because I was only telling you to do your room and you made me feel bad.
I don't like it.
I like it.
Well, you made me feel bad. Like, that whole explanation was that you made me feel bad for telling me to make my room.
Especially if OP did say she makes her room consistently.
Yeah. Like, just don't go in there. I can't deal with that right now. Come on.
Yeah. I explained this time much more calmly that the problem wasn't saying it, only that I wish she would have waited a few minutes.
Yeah.
Then I told her that if she always refuses my help, I'll end up assuming she doesn't want me to. Her answer was, "That's just how I am. I say no because I feel bad. I would rather you just do it because you want to help."
Oh my god. How is this supposed to be like someone that's older than OP right now?
Can you, yeah, she's saying, read my mind. Obviously, when I
Yeah.
say no, it means yes. Opie continues saying, "I explained that me asking is because I want to help. But from now on, I won't ask. I'll just do it. I also noticed that most of her free time ends up being for cooking all the meals. I used to do some of the cooking as well, but since she spent some time without a job, she did all the cooking again. So I offered her to do the cooking so she can have a bit more time to herself. After she agreed, I told her that's what I ask from her is to take it slow and to give me some space after I come back from visiting my mom. She seemed to be happy with everything I said. She said, 'I know I'm not your mom, but I try to treat you like you're my daughter.' I told her that I know, that I appreciate it, and that I love her. We hugged. Oh.
Huh.
And, by the way, I can give you a hug right now, but only if you listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts and searching up OK Storytime."
Okay. Well, that's sweet. I feel like, I have some I guess hesitations with that. With like I would rather, I don't know. I would probably say things differently. I would probably accept things differently, but I'm going to trust OP in that this was like a good resolve to this issue.
This also seems like most likely from what we got from the story, probably like the first like genuine, not necessarily argument, but like a real serious talk between her and you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of emotions flared up,
Right.
and it was probably very awkward for both of you. I think this was
Yeah.
the best thing, OP. It's very crazy that you had to go to apologize to her to like give out the olive branch of peace. She's the adult, but you're being very mature, which I
Right.
get. Again, very
Yep.
good that you guys figured it out, and hopefully she can give you the space you need when you come home.
Yeah.
And just some like support if you need it.
Right.
And go to her for support.
Right.
So I think this was a good thing, and I think it's all gonna work out.
Props to you, OP.
Yeah.
You're a lot nicer than I would have been.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish up the story. It's been a few weeks since that, and I think we're at a good point. I have been doing most of the housework, and I think she sees that I really want to help. Instead, one day, something bad happened to my mom, and my dad's girlfriend was very understanding and let me slack off a bit when I wasn't well. I think we both understand each other a bit better. I get the feeling they always say I'm the dramatic one, but I'm the only one that actually starts the difficult conversations, which we called out earlier.
Yeah.
I talked about everything with my therapist, and she says I handled everything very well, and that she's very happy with my progress in general. I didn't have the chance to talk with my dad about this yet, but I want to know his take on this, so maybe I'll still end up doing it. I hope I can improve our relationships as we go on. I wanted to thank everyone who took the time to reply. Many of you said kind, caring words, and I really appreciate it. And that is, that story.
Well, okay. Well, that's great. Good for you, OP.
Look at you, OP, being the pathfinder, the
Right.
trendsetter for communication in your
Right.
household. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a perfect example of, you did a good job of not escalating the situation, but still handling it and confronting it. And you found a solution. And it was very healthy communication, honestly.
Yeah.
Good job.
And I hope things with your mother in general, not your dad's girlfriend, but your mother, they do get better.
Yeah.
But I know it seems like you have a support system, you have a therapist, but we hope things go smooth on that front.
Absolutely.
My father's mistress wanted to come to my wedding, but I refused.
We can't fit ya.
I'm a 25-year-old woman engaged and getting married. Everything has been going to plan, but my biggest stressor is my guest list. I don't know if I should let my dad walk me down the aisle or even invite him and let him bring a +1. By the way, this comes from Royal C62, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly,
I'm Sophia.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my mom suddenly passed away when I was 9 years old. Tough with just me and my dad, but we made it work. I was and still am very close to my mom's sister, who basically helped raise me. Through no fault of my dad's, he worked full-time, so she was the one who picked me up from school and took me shopping. My dad came to what he could, and that was fine. Throughout my childhood, I was more than open and encouraging about him dating. I tried to set him up with my friends' moms, who were single, or cute friends of his that he golfed, and nothing came of it. In 2015, while I was on vacation with my aunt, I heard he met up with a woman who was in town. She was his college girlfriend, but they apparently didn't end up together because her father didn't like him. They met up, she gave her condolences for my mom passing away, which seemed odd since that was 6 years earlier. I eventually started hearing him on the phone at night talking to her, and would see letters come in the mail with his name on them. No return address, just bright colored cards, sometimes with hearts on the back of the envelope. Eventually, he would be away for the weekend, staying at a nearby hotel. So I asked him about who she was and whatnot. All was fine until I found out she was still married. Her excuse was that they were separated, but living in the same house. Now, I'm no saint, but that sounds like an affair to me. This spiraled into learning that she had a burner phone to communicate with my father, and when she came to town, she would say she was staying with her sister. No one but her sister knew what she was doing. Her marriage wasn't my business, but I told my father, "What the heck are you thinking, seeing someone who is married?" He excused it by saying they were separated and just didn't legally get divorced yet. Sure, that can happen, but does the husband know she's dating? No. I found him on Facebook and saw he was posting like normal, updating his profile picture with his beautiful, amazing wife. So to me, that sounds like an affair. From then on, I said I would not meet this woman, and I wanted nothing to do with the relationship because it was messy. It's not like her children or husband knew about my dad, so why should I put in effort for someone having an affair? When I went off to college, I still had no interest in meeting this married woman my father was seeing. Incident 1. I headed home for a long weekend and received a text from my father saying his lady friend was on the way to the house with her own key and to let her in. This woman that I told you I will not meet is going to be the first person I see coming home from college, and you aren't even going to be home? This spiraled into my dad demanding I just say hi. I heard the door unlocked and I stayed in my room until he got home. Once he did, I was pissed. And we got into an argument about me not meeting this woman. I lived in a ranch-style home with my bedroom at one end and the kitchen at the other with a long hallway. This woman sat on the hallway floor, blocking me from leaving out the back door to meet me. I ran out the front door to my car, where my dad and her proceeded to run out the back gate, hitting my car with their hands and screaming, "Oh, come on!" 2 adults in their 50s were blocking my car, screaming at me to say hello. Eventually, my dad moved from behind my car and I went to my friend's house, coming back late that night after they were sleeping. Yeah, she slept over. Incident 2. Somehow, his lady friend found my Instagram and tried to follow me, which I just thought was so odd based on our last interaction, but that wasn't the worst thing she did via phone. I received a long-winded paragraph from an unknown number basically saying things along the lines of, "Your mom has passed away, I'm not going anywhere, I'm in your father's life, so get used to it."
So weird. So weird. Like, how does she... I just don't understand why she thinks this is gonna help.
I'll spare the details, but the gist was that she didn't understand why I wouldn't want to meet her. I told her, and then she told me to simply get over it. Incident 3. Once again, I was coming home from college for the weekend to my own house, and guess who was there sitting on the couch watching TV? Her. I walked in, went straight to my room, and grabbed clothes because I was staying at my aunt's instead. It was supposed to be a quick in and out. She stood in front of my doorway and said, "So what's your problem with me?" I told her the same exact thing I wrote in text messages to her. You're married. You blocked me from leaving my own home. You banged your arm against my car window. You found me on social media. You found my number and texted me without my dad's knowledge. This turned into an hour-long argument of screaming and crying and yelling. Key quotes were once again, "Your mom's passed away. She's passed away." Referring to me asking her why she took down my mom's photos in the house?
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
How is your dad okay with this?
Well, I feel like he's like, oh, well, it's been so long, and she
It's
probably.
been 6 years.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I feel like she's coming at him with this kind of, it's been 6 years. You
Your
should take all of
wife,
this
buddy,
down.
that you have a
Yeah.
25-year-old kid with.
Yeah, come on.
I can't compete with someone who's passed away. You're a witch. You're a spoiled witch. You're an effing spoiled witch. So with all of that, I told her, I'll see you in heck. Then she called my dad at work to tell him about the situation, and I went on with my day and didn't say anything. He called me, not to ask me what happened or my side of the situation, but to say, how dare I? I'm so rude. I'm so immature. Sir, your 50-something married girlfriend is yelling at a teenager. I thought you were 25.
I thought you were in college. Maybe you're 18.
No, I think OP's 25. I'm like almost positive OP was 25. Because I was going to make a joke at the beginning that
I know that-
I was
I'm pretty sure they're in college because they came home from college.
Should I scroll back real quick?
Yeah, we're double checking, folks. I thought OP was in college.
I'm a 25-year-old woman engaged and getting married.
Maybe this was
this is a flashback to being
flashback.
in college.
Flashback, they're in college. They're probably
Flashback.
18 or 19.
Flashback.
There we go. We're back on track,
Two
folks.
things can be true.
Yes. We were both right.
Gotta find my spot again, guys. Hang on.
Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, your stepmom's cray, and all of this stuff is just so inappropriate for her to be doing, to be harassing you when she supposedly wants a relationship with you. She
Right.
can't just force you into a relationship.
This sitting on the floor
Yeah.
in the first incident, like,
Weird.
all of this could have been spared if dad was just like, I will civilly introduce you. Or,
Yes.
like, I won't have
won't
an
force.
affair.
Yeah, I won't have, help her have an affair.
Yeah.
I won't force you to have a relationship with a person that you don't like.
Yeah.
I'll let it happen naturally.
I don't bang on your car window.
Yeah, come on.
At some point, while I was in college, she got officially divorced. So, in his head now, all was good, and his daughter would accept his girlfriend as if he doesn't recollect everything that's gone down. We were now running in circles of me still not liking her or respecting her, and him saying he can't have a relationship with just me, but needs us to all get along and be a big happy family. There have been dinners with him where he's cursed me out and almost left the restaurant. I've tried to go to dinner at my childhood home and it's awkward. And every time there's something for her to complain about. First, it's just say hi to her. Okay, I did. Now it's, well, you said hi to her, but you didn't ask how she was. Okay, I did. Then it's, well, you didn't give her enough eye contact. I can't win. So, to me, I want nothing to do with either of them if he can't have a separate relationship with his only child. There's been no talk of what happened because whenever I bring up the past, I get told, get effing over it. Why can't we move forward? Maybe because there's been no apology and that bridge is burned. My father and I wish each other happy birthdays and holidays, and that's about it. I see him maybe 2 or 3 times a year, where the conversation always goes to, why can't I move on and just get over it? We haven't spent the holidays together since probably 2018.
I just remembered the initial question was, should I ask my dad
Yeah.
to walk me down the aisle? Wow.
No, do not.
No. Get someone else. Yeah, I mean, you don't
Walk
have to
yourself
necessarily. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to have anyone walk you down the aisle, but if you have someone in mind,
Yeah, if you want someone
it doesn't have to be your dad. We've read a lot of stories where, like, not that you know,
relative or
close
friend.
relative, brother,
No
friend.
brothers, only child.
Yeah, but like that general idea.
So don't feel pressured to you know,
No,
submit to tradition when you
a
don't like this person.
grandparent or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options, and the option of just walking yourself.
Yeah, walk down with a picture of your mom or something.
Yeah.
I have no desire to text him or update him on my life because it ends in an FU from him. He's asking about wedding details and assumes he's getting invited, walking me down the aisle, and that she's invited as his +1. I don't think he deserves to walk me down the aisle. I don't know if I will regret not inviting him, but I said I would invite him and I don't want her there. He is telling me he can consider himself passed away to me if she isn't invited. That's crazy.
If he's choosing,
Her, that's at
Yeah.
that point he is choosing her over
Yeah.
you. Don't invite either of
you
them.
could say I don't have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
I invited you. If you will not accept that, then yeah, we can't have either of you at the wedding.
Yeah, and have someone out front because
Yeah.
if you invite him, she's coming. I don't want anyone there who doesn't love or respect me, and it's not like either of them do. Also, does she even know your fiance?
I don't know. Yeah, you
Like-
guys have been like pretty much,
Not that everyone that comes to your wedding needs to know both people,
but like it seems like y'all are very low contact.
right. That's crazy. By the way, you know what else is crazy? That you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We've got a whole bunch of episodes there. There's a little bit more.
Oh boy. I just think that I mean, you literally said they don't love or care about us. And if you believe that truly, then don't invite these people.
I wouldn't invite him.
Yeah.
The second that she's taken down and like disrespecting your late mother is just wildly
Just
too much.
Inappropriate.
He might be my dad, but he picked her, and I don't want her at my wedding. I understand people in relationships want their significant other with them, but not when all this has gone down and you can't put your only daughter first for her wedding. It's always, she would be so hurt to not be invited. What about your daughter's feelings on her wedding day? You know who else isn't going to be there? My mom. He's gone and won't be there, but no, only his girlfriend's feelings seem to matter and not his daughter's. So what do I do? That's the end of that story.
My father disowned me years ago. Now he wants to reconcile.
No takebacks.
Oh, trigger warning, false accusation. I, 32 male, was falsely accused of a serious crime by my ex-girlfriend years ago, and it completely destroyed my life. She cheated on me, and when I found out and confronted her, she panicked and told nearly everyone we knew that I had assaulted her
Oh
to
my
cover up
God.
her cheating. Crazy. By the
That's
way, this comes from TA23454, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah,
I'm Sophia.
and we are here to give you some good advice, goofily. But we don't have all the answers, obviously. So we would love to hear what you guys think in the comments, and you're going to hear what we have to say about it as well. As OP says, I was taken into custody during the time of investigation, but later released since there was no evidence. However, my parents had already disowned me, and most of my friends distanced themselves from me. I mean, honestly, though,
yeah. I mean, it's tough because
Yeah.
obviously you want, I mean, there's a whole movement. You want to support
Yeah.
victims, but also you want to make sure that you have evidence.
yeah, you don't want to victim blame, or you
Yeah.
don't want to take sides. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you heard this about your family member, you don't want to believe that. But it's like,
Yeah.
ugh, I wasn't even declared innocent by a jury.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't even declared innocent by a jury, so my parents continued to believe I was guilty and had just gotten lucky. My best friend was the only one who believed me. He secretly helped me behind everyone's back until I eventually ran away. I had nothing left to lose since no one wanted me around, and even my college barred me from attending classes. They only emailed me assignments and allowed me to show up for exams. Wow.
Wow.
I went as far away from that town as I could, working odd community jobs to earn some money and slowly stabilizing myself. After some time, I legally changed my name because I couldn't stand looking at it anymore. Oh my gosh.
so sad.
Yeah. It felt like a part of that old, ruined version of me. I don't even know why exactly, but it helped me start fresh. I mean, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I made a few new friends after enrolling in university again, even though I was incredibly poor and buried in debt. Yes. Somehow, I managed to finish my degree in teaching and eventually moved across the globe to another country. There, I found stability. Wow, so changed your name, moved to a different country.
Which honestly, like, to escape those allegations, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Because that follows you around forever.
Oh, yeah.
And if you did it, rightfully so. But in this case, obviously.
Yeah. It just,
Yeah.
Gosh. I got a small apartment and started working as a teacher. Eventually, I met the woman who became my wife. At first, I couldn't bring myself to trust her. I would flinch when she tried to touch me and get anxious whenever she came close. But her patience broke through my walls. Slowly, I fell in love with her. I mean, why am I getting butterflies? Why does no one talk about me in that way?
Now he has a British accent now.
Oh, no, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't do it to me, OP. She later gave birth to our twin, a boy and a girl, who are the center of my world. Oh, I defend them to the edge of the universe, as you should. Her family accepted me quickly, even though I was a foreigner and an outsider. They treated me with love and respect, and it reminded me what a real family should feel like. Aww. For years, life was peaceful. We had a cozy home, our kids were happy, and I finally felt like I had rebuilt my life from the ashes. But everything changed last night.
Yeah, now I'm worried. Okay, well, my worry is that they're going to find out or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's what I'm thinking.
I feel like we
too.
should have preempted it and just hopefully, like, your wife, girlfriend knows.
Yeah, 'cause like, what else?
Yeah.
I was playing PlayStation with my son while my wife and daughter were in the garden. Cute. When there was a knock at the door. I opened it, and standing there was my father.
I forgot the title. That was the problem.
Yeah, it was Daddy. He smiled weakly and began to speak, but I slammed the door shut in shock so hard that I scared my son. Aw. My hands were shaking as I took him to his room. My wife noticed something was wrong and rushed inside with our daughter. My father kept knocking, and I completely broke down. My wife comforted me before answering the door herself. When she asked who he was, he told her he was my father. I had only given her vague details about my past, but she knew enough to be furious. She yelled at him for abandoning me and believing those lies. So she knows.
Yeah,
about-
which is good.
yeah,
She should know.
that's good.
If
Yeah,
you
I'm
have a kid
glad
with her.
you didn't like
Kids.
Yeah, hide it. Ugh. After she calmed down, I told her to let him in, but to take the kids upstairs. I sat down with my father, and he told me the reason he came. Here we go. Buckle up. He said that while helping my ex-girlfriend clear out her phone recently, he saw messages between her and the guy she cheated on me with. In those messages, she confessed her guilt, saying she regretted everything, that she had ruined my life, and that she wanted to take it all back. My father didn't confront her then. He said he wasn't ready to reopen old wounds. But reading those messages made him realize I'd been innocent all along. He started searching for me to tell me that he believed me now.
Too late, buddy.
I have no idea how he found me. And now I'm torn. Part of me wants to tell him to go back home and never contact me again. The pain from all those years can't just disappear, but another part of me wonders if I should reconcile, especially since he finally believes me and came all this way. I've been walking aimlessly around town all day thinking about what to do. I've narrowed it down to 2 choices. Choice number 1, turn him away and tell him to leave me alone for good. Or choice number 2, reconcile with him and let my mother know the truth. I don't know which is right. I'm exhausted, overwhelmed, and still processing the fact that after all these years, my father came back to me with an apology I never thought I'd get. He's staying at an apartment nearby, and I plan to take the day off work tomorrow. Maybe then I'll decide whether I can forgive him or whether it's too late. There is an update, but what would think?
I don't think that you have to forgive him. I don't think you owe him anything.
Yeah.
If you feel like you want to have a conversation where you say that to him and say, you betrayed me, I don't know if I can ever get over that. You know, I'm glad you came back to tell me this now.
Yeah.
If you need that for closure, do it. But you don't owe him
a relationship.
Yeah, I would say OP would have to just figure this out for themselves, because I feel like people would be like very indifferent. Like I could see, both sides.
Yeah.
Because I can see whether, if you really don't want that relationship, like, whatever, then we're done and that's it. And you
Yeah.
have to accept that as well as me. I accepted a long time ago, but now you have to like leave me alone, like even knowing this information. But then on the other half, it's like, I did like miss those times, like of like, I don't want to have this negative image of you in my head, but it seems like that's, that's what it was for years. How am I just supposed to turn that off?
And maybe, I mean, I feel like you have 3 options kind of here. Is 1, you cut off contact. You say,
Yeah.
never talk to me again. 2, you say, okay, let's try. Or 3, you say, not right now.
True.
You send it down the line. You say, give me a couple years, give me a year. I don't know.
Can I take a rain check?
Yeah. Rain check. We'll see.
We'll be
I'm
back.
not promising you anything, but I'll reach out to you if I ever want that.
Yeah.
But we've
like-
got an update.
Yeah. Let's update. Hi everyone. I'm sorry that I haven't said anything recently, but I came to the decision that I would not reconcile with my father. Wow. I simply couldn't find it in myself to forgive him. Some of you might want a story, so here is how it went down the day after I made the post. Uh-oh. I visited my father in his hotel and I told him that I wouldn't reconcile with him or anything like that. He had tears in his eyes but was understanding. He said he told my mother about her and cut my ex-girlfriend off from the family entirely. I asked him why there was still contact, as many of you questioned, and he said that she apparently felt too guilty to really let us go. I'm not too inclined to believe it, as were many of you, but it's closure enough for me. Apparently, my mother didn't take the news too well and tried to get my phone number, but my father didn't let in. Not sure what I could really trust, given that I feel most of it is just a ploy to get me back into their lives, but after they threw me out onto the streets like a rabid dog, it just makes me sick. My son did end up asking who was at the door, but I told him that it was a colleague. Kind of sad.
Oh.
I plan to tell both of them what happened to me in the past when they're older or going through tough times, to let them know that I understand. We're all fine. It shook me up a little bit, but I hope I have my father's word and him keeping my new life a secret. If anything else happens, I'll keep you updated, but I think the matter is resolved for now. Uh-oh. Update 2.
I think, honestly, pretty good start from the dad.
Yeah.
If he keeps his word and doesn't let the mom in, I think that's a pretty good
Yeah.
start.
Build trust back one step at a
Yeah,
time.
I think it's just like you keep trying, you keep
Yeah.
showing that, you respect boundaries, but saying like, hey, I'm here
Yeah.
if you ever change your mind.
and let OP set the pace.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what they're most comfortable with.
And unfortunately, that might mean never, you
Yeah.
know, because you did betray him. So that
Yeah.
might mean he never comes back.
Exactly, yeah. Update 2. I got closure from my family. Okay, seems like a start. A month later. Woo. This is my first time posting here, so I'll start with some backstory. I grew up in a perfectly normal middle-class family. My parents raised me well, and I had a good life. Then I got a girlfriend, and at first, she was amazing. We shared many hobbies and got along really well. Then I discovered she was cheating on me. Before I could break up with her, she threatened to tell everyone that I had raped her. I thought she was bluffing, but she actually did it. My family disowned me, and although I was released from custody due to lack of evidence, I wasn't formally acquitted. Because of that, my parents still believed I was guilty and thought I had gotten away with it. I decided to start fresh. I stayed with my best friend for a while, got copies of all my important documents, and ran away. I worked hard, earned a degree in teaching, and eventually moved to another country. There, I met my wife, and we had twin children, a boy and a girl. Life was peaceful for years. That was until my father found me again, which started a chain of events leading to this post. Recently, my family broke a promise to me, oh no, and it filled me with anger. After thinking about it for a long time, I decided to confront them directly. I flew back to my home country and met with everyone involved. My mom, dad, brother, and even my ex, the one who had accused me. Whoa. Uh-oh. I was nervous walking into that room, but once I saw them, I realized something strange. I didn't really see them as family anymore.
Yeah.
I recognized their faces, but I didn't feel any emotional connection. Not like the way I felt about my wife, my kids, or my
Well, it's
in-laws.
been so long.
Yeah. That's yeah. My mother was the first to react. She broke down crying and tried to apologize, but I just felt disgusted. My father comforted her while my brother was the only one composed enough to speak. He asked me how I was doing, but I told him to drop the small talk. This meeting was on my terms.
He goes, so, how you doing? He goes, shut up.
I moved to a different country. You don't even know my real name.
What do you mean how I'm doing? How do you think I'm doing?
You don't even know my fake name.
Yeah.
I told them I wasn't there to reconcile. I only wanted closure. I made it clear that if they ever tried to follow me or contact me after this, I would call the police.
Yeah.
I asked my parents why they had been so quick to abandon me, even after the police found no proof. They said they made a rash decision and that seeing me in custody broke their hearts. I called them out for lying because they never even tried to defend me. Then I asked my father about what people had told me earlier, how he supposedly found proof of my ex's lies. He explained that my ex had asked him to clear her phone, and while doing so, he found her chat logs. Since he was always good with technology, that's how he found him.
Yeah.
Technology.
There we go.
He's a tech bro.
He's a tech whiz.
Since he was always good with technology, I accepted his answer, even though it didn't make me feel any better. Then I turned to my brother. I asked why he never tried to contact me. He looked shocked and said that he did many times. He even tried to send me money to help me survive. But since I never replied, he assumed I hated him for what happened. Turns out he was right. My mother had blocked my number on all the family phone plans, including my brother's, since she was still paying for his plan.
Devastating.
Wow.
Devastating.
So all this time he thinks like
no
oh, he
one's
just-
on his side, but his brother is. Devastating. Oh, I would literally never forgive the mom. I
Yeah.
would literally never
I'd
forgive
be like,
her.
Mom, just because you have an opinion doesn't
Yeah.
mean nobody else can.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
So I never got any of his calls or messages. Crazy. Finally, I faced my ex. Dun dun dun. I asked her why she had done what she did. She said she was scared of what would happen and claimed that she never stopped loving me. Oh,
Shut up.
she said therapy made her feel guilty because she knew her story was fake. She even said she hadn't dated anyone since then because she hoped I'd come back so she could apologize.
Oh my god.
But that was another lie. Oh no.
Of course it
My
was.
father confirmed he had seen messages proving she'd had multiple partners while I was gone. When he said that, she
Crazy.
broke down crying and actually tried to hold my hand, begging for another chance. Girl,
He's full Mary.
all you do
Full
is
Mary.
lie.
You also got him almost arrested and had everyone abandon him.
All you do is lie.
You're a
Everything
liar.
that comes out of your mouth is a lie. That was when I snapped. I pulled out my phone and showed them hundreds of pictures. My kids' birthdays, family trips, holidays, their first days of school, everything. I told her that this was what she could have had if she hadn't destroyed everything. Okay, well, I think that's a little...
Yeah, I don't know what you need to do there.
this could have been you.
That's a little weird.
That's a little... And to my parents, I said this was what they had missed out on because they chose not to believe in me. That I understand. For a moment, I thought I might have gone too far. But then I realized compared to what they did to me, I haven't even scratched the surface, which
Yeah.
is completely true.
Agreed.
By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Story Time. There's a relevant update, but, you know, we've just been talking the entire time while reading it, so...
Yeah, I honestly don't have any more thoughts. I think that OP, you're very valid in all of your reactions.
Yeah.
there.
My visit wasn't bad at all, though. I met up with my old best friend and his family. They were genuinely happy to see me, and I'll always be grateful for how they took me in when everyone else turned their backs. I plan to visit my home country again one day to show my kids where half of their heritage comes from, but I'll never let them anywhere near my biological family. As far as I'm concerned, my only real family is my wife, her family, and our children.
Wait. What about your brother?
I'd say, all things considered, it went pretty well. Oh, edit. As some of you asked, yes, I've decided to let my brother visit and meet his niece and nephew. I
Thank
completely
goodness.
forgot to mention that earlier. Okay, good. Because I was I was like, the brother don't deserve that. A brother don't deserve that. A brother don't deserve that. And that's the end of that.
And there we go. You know what? All's well that ends well.
Yeah,
You had a tough life, man. I secretly planned to propose to my girlfriend until everything went horribly wrong.
Did she say no?
So I've been with my girlfriend for about 3 years now. We started seriously talking about marriage in June, and I told her that I would like to propose by year end. The more we talked, the more we wanted an October wedding, and decided on the 19th of the next year. She said that she wanted at least a year to plan, so engagement would have to be by then. By the way, this comes from Just Throw It Away 5217, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And my name's Angie.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in the situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, she has dropped hints over the last few months, not so subtly, about waiting for the ring so she could start planning. We had a trip to the mountains planned for this weekend, and I figured since the 19th is a Friday and the day that we plan to leave, that it would be the optimal time to propose. So even though I knew she was getting
You're proposing on the day you're leaving?
yeah, that doesn't
That
sounds
sounds
a little
like a terrible idea.
That does. Even though I knew she was getting a little impatient, I figured the timing would be perfect and we could celebrate all weekend. On Friday night, we got some devastating news. Her father had a heart attack and we rushed to the hospital. Oh
Ooh.
no. All your plans.
No. Yeah.
Couldn't you wait a day?
You can't pull a Jeremiah in the summer I turn pretty
Yeah.
and propose while your fiance or your girlfriend's family member is in the hospital.
yeah, you can't. do
You
that.
can't do that.
He was alive when we got there, but did not make it through the night. Oh my gosh.
No.
That's awful.
Yeah. My girlfriend is heartbroken. No one saw this coming. I am also extremely upset, as him and I had gotten pretty close over the last few years. I also was very upset because I had asked him at the end of August for his blessing and explained to him the whole plan. He was so excited for this and even mentioned it to me several times when we were at their house for supper last week. Saturday was kind of a blur, and Sunday we started to help her mother and brother make funeral arrangements. She was grieving, but we were getting through it together until last night. Last night, she flipped out on me. She told me that I'm a monster for not proposing by now, and that her dad will never see her ring or hear the story.
Okay. I mean, like, really heartbreaking, but she's lashing out. She's grieving,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely not.
Not even really her fault. It's like a really harsh thing to say.
It's,
but
it's nobody's fault.
yeah, there's no one. No, I'm just saying in what
Yeah.
she's saying.
Oh, what she's saying? Yeah.
Like,
but
yes,
still,
it is very
yeah.
hurtful, but also this person is grieving the unexpected loss
Yeah.
of their father.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
yeah.
processing
Yeah, it's,
so
and
much.
yeah, it's just like you really have to not take that to heart.
Right.
Still listen
Best
to
you
her and be
can.
like, okay, how do we solve this? But
I think deep down she's upset that he will not be there for the wedding. We all are, but I couldn't have foreseen this, or I would have
course,
proposed
of course
months
not.
ago. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to show her the ring and tell her that I discussed it with him prior and
Aw.
that we have his blessing.
absolutely do that.
I just feel like everything is messed up now and I don't know what to do. Our mountains weekend is definitely off, obviously, and I was planning to wait to propose until things are stable again, but she is so upset with me. I don't even know how to approach it. She slept on the couch last night, and I just want to hug her and tell her that there's nothing that I want more than her to be my wife and her dad to still be here, but I can't. She doesn't want me close to her. What can I do? And there are some
Immediately?
comments.
Yeah, immediately you say, hey, like, I would like to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sit her down.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, I just want you to know that, like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. I had plans to propose to you.
Yeah.
On this day.
Yeah.
I already talked with your dad. He gave me his blessing.
Yeah.
Um,
Explain the whole thing.
Yeah, explain it all. Say, I absolutely want you to be my wife.
Yeah.
I just want to know what you want to, like, do you want me to plan, like, I will absolutely plan something. If you want to get proposed right now,
Yeah.
like basically not necessarily propose to her,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of tell her about the proposal, tell her everything.
Yeah.
I think when you tell her, it should be maybe a mix of the romantic and the comforting.
Yeah.
Like, this is a time of grieving.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to just say, like, let's forget this.
Yeah.
It's still kind of
I
reminding
totally
her.
understand everything.
Yeah. And say, and like, you're kind of proposing to her in a way.
Yeah.
But if she wants you to be like, let's plan something, like, do you want something
Right.
You want me to do this?
Yeah.
Because I had a whole idea. Do you want that?
Yeah,
Or
you
is
can-
this?
You can just like,
Yeah.
you can, I agree. You can
Yeah.
ask her like what she wants. Like,
Yeah.
do you still want me to surprise you? And like,
Yeah.
do you want to keep our date for next year?
Yeah.
Do you want this and that? Like, tell her all about how excited your dad was.
Yeah. Yeah.
her dad
like
was
that would mean
before.
so much to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I think you can save this.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Absolutely.
I believe in you. But we do have some relevant comments. One commenter says, yes, at this point, please show her the ring. Tell her that you were planning to propose during this trip and tell her about how you talked to her dad about this in August, etc. Especially that. Are her parents together? Would her dad have told her mom about this? In case you need corroboration that you actually did talk to her dad. And please try not to be too upset with her. OP says, oh my gosh, I'm not upset with her even a little bit. She couldn't have known my plan, and I know how much her dad meant to her. I'm the furthest thing from upset with her. I just want to make her feel better. I am worried that if I show her the ring, then she'll think it's like a pity proposal or it will ruin for her.
Again, this is why you tell her everything.
Yeah.
Like, you just give her everything. And I think you give that lead up before even showing the ring.
Also, yes, her parents are together, and yes, mom definitely knows about my plan. I just know that she's upset too, and I don't want to pester her with this. I feel like it's probably the furthest thing from her mind. The reckless one says, I think sitting her down and telling her something like, I had been speaking with your father about a plan for this weekend. I was going to propose whilst we were in the mountains, and he loved the idea. He knew the whole plan. He even told your mom. I know this is not the perfect time for a proposal, so would you like to see the ring, or shall we wait a little longer? That would work best. Don't go from, why haven't you proposed yet, to bam, here's a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most important part is that there was a plan, and her dad knew about it. Leave it up to her whether she sees the ring and everything now, or whether you postpone to still have a big proposal. Opie says, I like this idea. My sister has been telling me that showing her the ring will ruin any big moment in the future, but I like the idea of giving her a choice.
Yeah.
Honestly, if she is okay without the big proposal, I want to give her the ring. I want to be engaged, and I know she does too. I wasn't dragging this out for anything other than the perfect place or time. I think once I get off work tonight, I'll try to have this talk with her, if she's speaking to me then.
I think OP's listening really
Yeah.
well to everyone, and I'm glad.
I agree.
Yeah.
Deleted says, 20 female here, I think that you should keep telling her that you're there for her and show her your support. Let her have her time alone right now and don't rush anything. But if she continues to be angry with you specifically about this and doesn't let it go of it, I think you should tell her about the plans and the blessing. In that way, you can first wait and see if she comes around. It's only been a day. And then tell her about all of this when you decide it's a good time to propose. But you're one of the closest people to her, so it's unnecessary if you can be close to her during this terrible time because of something that isn't even true. I believe, though, that she is just generally, obviously, heartbroken and experiences a lot of feelings about everything, one of them being you not proposing, quote, in time. And that yesterday, that was just what she happened to put all her feelings into. And even if things seem incredibly badly timed, you got his blessing before he passed. That's beautiful. In the long run, it's going to be okay, even if right now it isn't. It never is when this kind of things happen. Best of luck. And
Yeah, I
OP
don't-
response.
I don't fully agree with that, that plan of, like, not
Like-
telling her yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
You
like,
think
I
it should
think
be,
the
like,
sentiment
right
was
away?
there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
OP responds, dang, every comment gives me something new to think about. I was just sold on sitting her down and telling her that there is a ring and we have her father's blessing and asking if she wants to see it or wait. However, now I'm wondering if she will even be thinking of that when I come home. You're right, she is all over the place right now, but I totally get that. I think I'm just going to try to read her mood. I also have quite a few text messages between myself and her father.
absolutely show her those.
Totally.
Wow,
Since our-
absolutely.
This is all since our initial discussion in August of me showing him the ring I picked and him saying that he thought that she'd love it and him asking for details of the plan and saying how excited he is for it. And I want to show her all of these things too, but maybe it's best to give it away.
Oh, show it. No,
Show it.
Show it.
And OP responded to a deleted comment. No, that's not it at all. She was impatient because she knew it was coming. We discussed at length months ago. She didn't demand it. She wants the ring to start planning because an engagement is when planning starts. And we do have an update from 1.5 months later. So
Yeah, we
I'm
can get
excited
into
to
it.
find out what happens.
Me too. I gotta know.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you take my advice? Did
Right?
you take our advice?
I know. Did you listen to us?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, please, Sophie?
So update. Okay, so in my last post, my girlfriend was being very aggressive towards me about not proposing before her father passed away. She stayed relatively upset and cold towards me throughout the funeral, but afterwards it seemed like we started to get closer. That week was honestly living heck, having to go to a man I truly cared for's funeral, while his daughter is mad because she thinks that I'm not proposing, all the while I am, but I can't tell her right now. It sucked. However, time went on and things started to get better. 2 weeks after the funeral,
2 weeks?
early November, I talked to her mom and she helped me develop a new plan.
Okay, you know your girlfriend.
I had convinced my girlfriend to take the whole week of Thanksgiving off, which wasn't hard because she knew the first holiday without her father would be really hard. So I took her on a surprise trip, which was our original mountain trip just later.
No.
Our plan was to leave Sunday evening and return Wednesday in time to help her family prep for Thanksgiving. So I decided that Sunday was my day. Her mom took her out all day to help her get ready for our little getaway, aka distract her. I started setting up my proposal. I first took screenshots of all the conversations her dad and I had via text about the engagement and printed them out. Yes! I was hoping he would do that. I was hoping. I was actually able to turn it into 15 individual screenshots of conversation. So I made them into a little book. I also included the picture that I took with him the day I asked for his blessing and the 2 pictures I had of us 3 all together.
I was literally gonna suggest that he make them into like a little scrapbook.
That's
or
so
something.
cute. I was just thinking print them out and put them on the wall, but this is a much better idea.
This is really sweet.
I packed our bags for the trip and decorated the house in flowers and balloons so she knew something was up as soon as she opened the door. When she opened the door, she looked shocked and a little confused. Even more confused when I handed her a book and didn't get down on one knee.
Oh.
I had initially intended to get down on one knee while she read through our conversations, but she started crying pretty hard and took the book to the couch in the living room where I just kind of scooped her up in a hug and asked her to marry me.
Oh, this is so sweet.
This is so sweet. I had to awkwardly fish the ring out of my pocket, and we didn't have the magical getting down on one knee
It was
moment.
magical though.
But through her tears, she shook her head yes and hugged me, which I thought was even better than expected.
Oh.
Once she regained her composure, she told me how excited she was, but asked if I would mind if we waited till Monday morning to go to the mountains because she wants to show her mom and brother the book and the ring. I didn't care at all, and we ended up spending the night at her mom's house.
See, this is why I didn't think you should do it the day that you're leaving.
But I think that you should listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever favorite podcast app you have. Just search OK Storytime. And we have a little bit more to the story, but yeah, this is beautiful.
Really sweet.
We left Monday and had an amazing trip to the mountains, and we tried to hit all of her dad's suggested proposal spots while we were there and snap pics, even though the weather was a lot colder than when our initial trip was planned. We had an amazing Thanksgiving with our families, and now we cannot wait to start wedding planning.
Yay!
She decided that she no longer wants to get married next October, and I obviously understood. Our wedding day is still TBD, but I couldn't be happier. We have one comment. There's a downvoted comment here, actually. This might have been before this update, too. I don't know. Her reaction to blame you for not proposing to her and then giving you the cold shoulder for weeks is not a good sign.
Oh my god, this person is like crazy.
Yeah.
She literally just lost her father.
I know. Yes, she was dealing with her unexpected loss, but not everyone's first reaction is to get angry with their partner and push them away.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone deals with grief differently. That's like
Right.
grief 101.
There are many people who deal with their loss in a much more mature and non-hurtful ways. Just
Person
putting this out
sucks.
there. I doubt it will change anything because OP and fiance are currently happy, but something to be cautious of in the future when life obstacles get thrown her way. Just be careful. Congratulations on the engagement.
That person sucks.
And there is an edit. It was a lovely way to propose, by the way.
By the way, there's one a-hole in the story, and it's that comment.
It's you. OP responds, though. I totally get why that would seem like not a good sign, but her dad was her best friend, and I'm glad to be her old one-2-wing bag if she needs to let her grief out. I know that's not who she is as a person, but definitely get the concern. Thanks for the advice, and congratulations. OP's so nice. This commenter is responding to OP adding the pictures to the book. Wow, you hit it out of the park. Amazing. So happy for you and your new fiance. That book sounds so touching and all the photos. Wonderful. OP responds, thank you. I wish you could see the awkward old people blue app style selfie that he made us take the day I asked.
No.
I'm so grateful he did, but I still laugh a bit when I see it. And that is the end of that wonderful
That
story.
was really lovely.
Wow, that was beautiful.
10 out of 10 story.
Perfect way to do it.
My stepfather is unhappy that I met my real father.
You have to pick one of us.
I'm 23 female, and I grew up without my biological dad. He and my mom had me pretty young, so looking back, I can understand that my bio dad wasn't ready for fatherhood or whatever. Not that I excuse it, I just don't really care. My mom was young too, but she had no choice. By the way, this comes from username. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, the thing is, when I was 4, my mom met a guy. He was 21. And honestly, not ready to be a stepdad either. Ooh, I thought we were going to get another.
Yeah, I wanted to switch it up.
But he still took me under his wing, and so instead of stepdad, he became my dad.
He's like, I'm not ready to be a stepdad, but I am ready to be a father.
Can't call me stepdad.
Don't call me
but you can
stepdad.
call
I
me
don't like
father.
it. Comes with responsibilities.
Father, totally different.
Totally different.
I'm your daddy now.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we were trying to avoid that one, Keon, but thank you.
Keon, that's disgusting.
You're welcome.
For me, the picture was complete. I never once felt like I was missing something while growing up. I knew I had a bio dad out there, and I would be lying if I said there were no days where I wondered why he didn't seem to care about me. But my father loved me so much and poured so much of himself into me that it never became a thing. I'm super thankful, as you can imagine. My mom ended up marrying him, but unfortunately, they divorced when I was 16. He has since moved out, but they are on very good terms. We all see each other very regularly. He still visits my maternal grandparents, is very involved, and celebrates Christmas and New Year's with us. They're not together anymore, but things are still the same. I know how lucky I am for that. Now, when I was 17, I decided to reach out to my bio dad out of curiosity. He was very receptive and excited to get to know me. From the very beginning, it went very fast. And as young as I was not really aware of this. Immediately, he wanted me to refer to him as Papa.
He like texts this 17-year-old and he's like, call me Papa.
And then he goes, "You're bad like Papa."
You lie like Papa. Ah!
And when he sent me messages or gifted me stuff, he always had to sign off with "your dad." This really put me off, but I never knew how to properly deal with this or tell him I wasn't comfortable with that.
He did the wrong your. Like, it's like,
Yeah, he was like, you are dad.
You are dad.
You are dad, and then he's pregnant and it's yours. But not yours, OPs.
Oh, that's worse. That's his kid.
You're not concerned with how the dad is pregnant either?
No. Why is he pregnant with his child's kid?
because he's dad.
What?
You are dad.
You are dad.
We have fun here, guys.
Guys, we have fun.
We have fun here.
Funny town population 3. It's a
1,
small
2,
town.
3.
Hey. Guys, it's 11 o'clock. It's actually 10 o'clock.
This is past Sophia's bedtime.
Yeah.
No, we're entering the funny Fia.
Oh, I imagine I have a little hat.
Whatever he was pushing onto me did not align with my reality that my dad was the man who actually raised me. Instead of laying the groundwork and addressing the elephants in the room, to get that out of the way, he jumped right in.
Into the elephant?
He said, let's get into that elephant right
He
now.
said, well, why? There's so many elephants here.
I want to address that elephant inside of the elephant.
You've seen Ace Ventura, right?
Kind of a Jonah inside the whale situation. He said, we got to address the whale I'm in the room in. The whale is the room.
He jumped, and there's elephants in the whale.
There's elephants in the whale. We
Multiple
got to
elephants.
address both.
He jumped right in and skipped all the hard stuff that needed to be discussed. Contact was very irregular anyway. He only seemed to reach out when he was bored. But this didn't really bother me. I was aware I deserved better though. So when I was 20, we had a falling out.
I'm just imagining him being like, hey, you up? It's your dad. Wanna, I don't know, go
It's
to
your
get
dad.
burgers?
It's your dad, and you are dad.
You are dad. I'm bored.
We only started speaking again last year when I was 22. The pattern repeated. No hard conversations, just jumping right in. He didn't even address our falling out. Just started texting me about vacations and dinners and family meetings. I was overwhelmed and stupidly played along. It has been a bumpy ride this year. A lot of pretending I'm fine with things, going along with their family traditions, playing the role that they want me to play. I carry my mom's last name, but was originally born with my bio dad's name. When I was 6, I asked my mom if I could have the same name as her, and ever since then, I've had her name.
Oh, that's lovely.
So adorable at 6.
Yeah. Oh, what's your name? Kind of a Prissy Jackson situation.
He wanted to fight this in court despite not having seen me for years at this point, and not even paying child support, 50 euros or pounds?
That's euros.
50 euros per month. But a legal advisor reminded him of these facts and that if he would want to object, he would 100% lose the case anyway. Despite this, he has me saved in his phone with his last name. It's things like that that make me feel deeply uncomfortable.
Wait, did it just say that he's not paying child support? Or that he is? What did that just say?
Not even paying child support.
I'm sorry, this man's not paying child support, says, call me Papa, keeps messaging you, and now is like, well, I'm going to call you by my last name even though I'm not in your life at all.
I'm Papa last name.
Papa last name.
Papa last name?
Papa last name. And that's what you should save him in your phone
Yeah.
as. Last summer in August, he had a crash out. Don't we all?
Everybody gets one.
Don't we all have a crash out in August?
Don't we all?
I actually don't think I had a crash out in August. I think I was pretty chill.
Well, aren't you lucky?
Aren't you so cool? And he yelled at my half-sister, 17 female, and me, which also made it evident he wants and expects more from me. With more, I mean he wants me to confirm and affirm his position as a father, that I reassure him, and yes, all that papa business.
But do you like me? I just feel like everyone doesn't like me, and I just feel ugly.
I'm texting you, hey, you up every night, and you're not always up.
Sometimes you're asleep, and sometimes you say stop texting me.
You
You're not my
forgot
dad.
to say good night, Papa.
That's all I want. I just want a good night, Papa. It's not that much to ask for.
I'm gonna start texting Sophia, good night, Papa.
Please do. Please do. And I'll just text you, you up?
But like an hour after I say good night, Papa.
Please don't do that.
Too bad, Keon. It's happening.
I'm already cut from everything I enjoy.
It's me and Sophia's wedding now.
Yes.
He wants me to forget where I come from and be all about him. But I just feel like I can't give him more than just being in his life and doing fun things with him. Building our relationship like two humans. I started therapy to work with these feelings. I just struggle with the fact that he's my bio dad and he's on my legal papers, despite never having done the dirty work for me. The fact that he can always wave around the papers in my face that he's my father. And he believes that because the papers say he's my biological father, he can call himself that. Technically, he can, but I have a very hard time accepting it, along with him basically trying to hypnotize me into calling him Papa or Dad. Did you zoom in on my face?
He's going, Papa, you're getting very sleepy. In an hour, you're going to wake up and text me, you up, Papa?
I don't know.
Hey, Papa, you want to come over?
I've seen Stranger Things.
Oh! I hope this comes out after season 5 is all the way out.
Papa's. Never mind. I'm not. No spoilers.
I
Too
haven't
late,
seen
you just
it.
did.
Stop it.
Papa, can you hear me?
He gives me iPads and all sorts of stuff, all engraved with your dad, as if it wasn't already obvious.
Hold on. He's engraving the iPads? Is he like sketching into the glass? Yeah. Papa?
I think he's getting them laser engraved. Like,
It's literally
no.
saying your dad.
He's sketching into the
no,
glass.
remember it's saying you are dad.
You are dad.
It's so OP doesn't forget that
Yeah.
one day he will become Papa.
I think it's still insane to engrave, even if laser engraving, an iPad.
Just to get your point across that much that you
I
want to
am
be
your
called
papa.
dad.
You can have this iPad if you acknowledge.
Again, don't forget, OP is a female, so it makes it even better.
All of this is great.
I thought OP was a man.
No, that's why I was so confused the first time around. And then I got your joke.
He denies the existence of my real dad, the man who raised me, and continuously makes weird remarks here and there, trying to one-up him. Anyways, I realize that I can't go on like this. My negative emotions are making it hard for me to behave normally, even in the presence of other family members on his side that have nothing to do with it. I treasure my budding relationship with my uncle, grandma, and my sister. So I've decided to be honest after all this time. I texted him a few days ago and told him that I've been raised by another man in his absence. And because of this, I've come to see this man as my father. I stayed respectful, never insulted him, just described my experience. I told him I'm uncomfortable with him denying my past, my last name, and that it feels like I'm not being respected or accepted. That it's like I'm expected to play the role of the version of me that he thinks is ideal. The version of me that would have existed had he not left me. But that's just not realistic. It's not some sim character whose life you can shape to your will. I said that I am willing to continue working on us, but in a way that works for both of us, not just him. I want to speak about these things. I want my life and identity to get acknowledged, not water myself down into some version of myself that he can tolerate because it's too painful for him otherwise. By the way,
It would be painful.
by the way, you can always tolerate us through full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime, and who knows? You might not have to tolerate us after a while. You might really like it.
Wait, small tweet?
But we've got just a little bit left. In all seriousness, though, I think that it is great that you finally laid down the law and said that. And said, listen, you were not around to raise me. I had a dad. I have someone that I highly consider my dad, and it's not you.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad.
You're literally not my dad.
You're not my dad.
You're not my mom. Except this time you're not my dad.
The actual meme is, you're not my dad.
That's true.
I thought that's what you were doing the whole time.
I was, but I thought it was mom. Anyway,
You had it right.
at the end of the day, he's not your dad. You got a dad, and he's a weird guy that keeps asking to call him Papa. And in any other
Engraving
scenario,
your
it'd be
iPads.
harassment. And he's engraving iPads. That's weird.
Yeah, he said after 20 years, he said, I'm Papa now.
Papa's here. You up?
Papa's here. Hey, I know it's been 20 years.
Hey, it's Papa.
Hey, Papa here. Hey, chat. Papa here.
Hey, chat. It's Papa. He hasn't replied since, and I'm starting to feel kind of crazy. Am I overreacting? Why can he never just reply and have an adult conversation with me? I do acknowledge that this could be out of the blue for him, even though we haven't spoken since our thingy in August. We did apologize to each other, but it's been very rusty between us. He says he wants a place in my life, which he has. He's just not happy with the place he's gotten. He cannot accept it, but I can't do more. I have a father. I know I'm late to being honest, and I feel bad for it. Am I the a-hole? We have some comments. Commenter 1, not the a-hole. You are 100% in the right. Your dad hasn't changed over the years. I bet if you had never established contact with him, he wouldn't have done it on his own. You both can't move forward until the big things are addressed. He can't sweep them under the rug. OP says, thank you. Honestly felt so wrong and still feels so wrong to continue like this and pretend that everything is perfect while we haven't talked about these things from the very beginning. The things he's denying or refuses to talk about are things that are so important to me and are basically my identity. So I always felt like an imposter sitting there. That he has not changed is also true. That he was not ready to be a dad because of his age, I get, but there are things he hasn't outgrown, unfortunately. He had a daughter after me when he was older, and she has a very difficult time with him. I don't think he can be changed, though, and I realize that trying to is just a waste of my energy. I know that I need to stop trying to control it. It's probably beyond me. I've already sent the message, so I can't take that back. If he's unwilling to work together, then I guess I need to decide for myself to remove myself from the situation. I'm just worried about the collateral damage and all the opinions.
Ignore the haters, OP. They're just your motivators.
Speaking of these haters, commenter 2 is downvoted.
I
think you're being a bit dramatic. You have a stepfather who was a true father to you. Are you still in frequent contact with him apart from family gatherings? You have a birth father. That's just true. You don't have to have any relationship with him at all, but you keep going back to be a part of his life and a part of his family's life.
It doesn't seem like that's actually true. It seems like he keeps texting OP.
Papa's up, are you?
Yeah, hey, is Papa.
If you don't want that, then you have to stop. You don't get to control him. You don't get a birth father who knows how to rebuild the sort of relationship you want. All you can control are your choices, so stop upsetting yourself. OP says, thank you for your honesty, LOL. I know I'm being dramatic, but I just can't get it out of my head. Started therapy too for this reason. What you're saying is very true. I just think I need to hear this, especially since everyone else in my life is pretty biased and harsh about it towards him. So I can get very lost in this on my own. It helps to hear it from others who don't know him and me personally. I just need to accept that I can't change the fact and can't control him. It's just really felt bad when I saw that he read and didn't reply to my message and started overthinking horribly. Thanks. And that's the end of that story.
And that's the freaking end, dude.
That's the end. And I hope that I hope that he responds.
Yeah.
But that it's in a very civil, nice little, let's actually have a conversation kind of way.
Yeah, good luck, OP. I think that commenter was weird and like harsh and
I don't
not
necessarily
right.
think it was like very terrible.
Yeah, but I think in a sense that I think that is the main. My main advice would be to just
Yeah.
kind of create that distance that you want, and don't feel bad about creating it.
But that's the end of that story.
But it's not the end of the episode.
No, it's not.
Stay put.
You can't leave.
A DNA test for fun exposed a family secret, and it changed my life forever.
Whoa, did you find loyalty in your DNA?
I think not. I, 25 female, moved across the country away from my family. It was just a change I needed. I felt like I was stagnating. I didn't know what I wanted out of life, but I knew I needed change. I'd been living on my own for years, but it was the first time I'd really been away from my parents. By the way, this comes from Throwaway2217, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in this situation. So let us know what you would do in the comments. OP says, I was excited and nervous about the move. I'm not good at change. I'm a nervous person in general, and I like the comfort of routine and stability. I know, who doesn't? Before I moved, I stayed with my parents for about a month. My sister had taken one of those 23andMe tests, and she was telling me all the cool things that she had learned about herself. I had been curious about those tests for years, mostly for the genetic health analysis that they do. I know that might be a gimmick, but it was on sale, and I decided to order a kit. I spit in the stupid thing, sent it off, knowing it would be a while before I heard anything back. I had other things to worry about with the move, and I eventually forgot about it. Well, I move out, and the adjustment was kind of rough. A new area, a new job, new people. I was a little overwhelmed, but about a month in, I started getting my footing. I came home from work one night and saw the email from 23andMe telling me my results were in. I had forgotten about it and was excited to see what it said. I go for the health results first. Turns out I have some pretty good genes. Maybe I get glaucoma, but I passed everything else. So that was cool. I then head over and look at my origins and found no surprises. I was kind of disappointed, to be honest. The test was not that interesting. I didn't really care about my DNA relatives, but I decided to take a peek anyway. My sister would be on there at least, and she was first one on my list. It was so expected that I just glanced over her name, more curious to see other matches. Well, my second match was my grandfather, and it was a name I had never heard before. I was confused. I looked back at my sister and realized that it said half-sibling. I
Uh-oh.
felt sick. I know that my sister is my dad's daughter. She inherited a genetic condition from him. I went through a little denial. Maybe the test was wrong. Google said that wasn't likely. After a few tears, I had to accept that I had a biological father out in the world that I never knew about. I found out that my parents had lied to me for 25 years. And the fact that they just let me move all the way out here, knowing full well, I can expand on how I know they knew, it's a long story, that I would find this out has made me so angry. Instead of talking this out with me, they left me alone to deal with it on my own. I still haven't gotten to talk to them in person about this. That's been especially hard to cope with for some reason. Anyway, it took me about a week to confront my mom. I guess it's hard to empathize with my situation unless you've been through it. It almost felt like grieving in a way. It felt like I lost my dad. I know he's still my dad. He loves me and I love him. And the fact that he raised me while knowing I wasn't his says a lot about his character. He's always lived by impeccable moral principles, and I've always tried to be as good of a person as he is. To this day, I can't really pinpoint why this has had such an effect on me. You would think that I could just say, oh, okay, well, I know who my dad is, and he's great, and I love him, so it doesn't matter. But I can't. My mom was surprisingly forthcoming about the situation. She had an affair!
Gee willikers, Batman!
Is that... What? Where did that come from? My biological father was married too. It didn't last long, and my bio dad didn't even know I existed. Whoa. She said they hadn't talked since, but she could find him on Facebook if I wanted to contact him. It took me a day to think it over, but ultimately I knew I had to know. I don't know why, but I just couldn't have this information in my head and not learn more about who my bio dad was. So I had her message him. Since then, I've been in contact with him every day. He is a wonderful person. I expected him to not want to contact with me.
Is he really a wonderful person who had an affair when he was married?
Yeah, as he has a family, and my existence is not exactly an easy thing to explain. I was prepared for the worst, but instead, I don't know, I got probably the best outcome one could hope for. He wants to be a part of my life. He wants to get to know me and make up for lost time. We've already talked a lot. I've told him about my life and I've learned about his. He lives pretty far away, but he has visited me a few times. I don't know, things just clicked with him. We are actually pretty similar people. I do look like him. We get along really well, and he's definitely gone the extra mile to make me feel loved and cared for. I'm not good at people, but getting to know him has felt easy and natural. So that should be about it, right? Things worked out for the best, and I should be happy that I have so many people who care about me. But I have these conflicting feelings, and I just can't put them out of my head. I have decided to move again to be closer to him. Whoa.
I'm confused. Why are you yearning for this new development? I mean, sure, because I know you wanted to change your life, and you're like, my life's a constant, but you already had a father to begin with.
Yeah.
But you also are now yearning for this relationship with your biological father that you... How old's OP? OP got this test at like
25.
25.
Yeah.
You hit 25 and you're like, this is the change that I wanted.
I want the chance to spend time with him and get to know him better. I'm really excited about the move. Things have worked out really well on that front. But I just talked to my dad, the one that has raised me. That's another hard thing. The term dad is way too confusing to me now, and I can tell that he's not exactly happy about the move. And I can't blame him. He spent his entire life raising me, and now all of a sudden I'm seeking a relationship with my bio father, the man my mom cheated on him with. That's gotta be pretty tough.
Yeah, there we go. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird, but do you?
Just like for the dad's perspective, at least, yeah. I thought about just not telling him that I'm moving, but that's a lie that I just can't keep up with. I couldn't just not tell him. The longer I waited, the worse it was going to get. I almost feel like I'm going through some kind of identity or existential crisis. For 25 years, my parents looked at me, and in the back of their minds, they knew where I came from. I came out of a shameful and regretful mistake. I am the living reminder of some of the worst times of their life. And that's true for my bio dad, too. He has gone out of his way to assure me that it's not my fault and that I'm not responsible for any of this. But isn't the end result the same? If they could take back the circumstances of my conception, I'm sure they would. I can't help but think that I am a life that no one wanted to exist. I don't actually belong anywhere. So now I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been a happy person. Life has been rough. I like to say I'm resilient, but I think I'm just fragile underneath it all, and stuff like this really throws me. I don't think I'm mature enough to navigate whatever this is. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I can't tell if I'm being selfish. I don't know what to do. What would a normal person do if they were in my shoes? I've just been taking it one day at a time, but ever since I found out about this, it's consumed my life. There are some comments, though. I can't imagine what you're going through, but your father who raised you didn't make a shameful and regretful mistake, and you're not necessarily a reminder of some of the worst times of their lives. You're a reminder to your mother that the man who raised you actually loved both you and her enough to stay and be a real father to you and a real husband to her despite what happened. There's every chance that the father who raised you is going to see this as not only a betrayal from you, but a reminder of something he thought he put behind him a long time ago. What kind of relationship do you want to build with your newly found bio father? What kind of reminder do you want to be for him and his family? What kind of relationship do you expect with the father who raised you now that you've decided to be closer to your bio father? OP responded, I honestly don't know how to answer your questions. This has thrown me from day one. I don't know what I want. I have this new information and I've just taken it one day at a time. My bio father wants to get to know me and I'm obviously curious about him as well. So I guess I've just been doing that. I don't want my relationship with my dad to change at all. When I found out, we talked about it exactly one time. I cried over the phone to him, told him that I loved him and that he would always be my dad. We still talk over the phone all the time. He's so important to me and I want him to know that. But I moved away from him and the rest of my family a year ago for unrelated reasons, and I guess it's easier to move again because I've been gone. By the way, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, whether that's iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you choose, and search OK Storytime. You're going to find full episodes of stories just like this one, but there is a little bit more to the story. I don't intend for this move to be permanent. I have no goals yet. I'm still trying to figure out my life. I'm not happy living where I am, and I have the new information and a chance to do something with it. It feels like if I don't get to know my bio dad, I will spend the rest of my life wondering. I can see that it would cause pain to my dad, and that's hurting me inside. I've been depressed for the last year since I found out, and I feel like the only way to get answers for my life would be to investigate this. That's why I made this post. Maybe someone could understand the situation I'm in and tell me why I'm so effed up over this. And that's the end of that story.
The only way you can do that and figure that out is legitimately seeing a professional. So
Yeah.
if you're genuinely like, I'm one for the depression, and for you to be like, I don't know how to feel about this, I don't know how to process this, I'm still trying to figure it all out. Even if you talk to your bio dad and get that relationship with your bio dad, I genuinely think you need to see a professional therapist to get that all out there and see
Sure.
what they can, what they can do for you.
Yeah. And if anyone in the comments has been in this situation, please comment down below your experiences with it, because we can only guess.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like people have tried to sue 23andMe or like those DNA things
Yeah.
because of stories like this.
Because they would like reveal affairs. and stuff.
Affairs or like someone cheated or something
my
like that along the lines.
God.
You're like, what? Something doesn't add up, and you find the
Like, well, it's not 23andMe's fault. Not their fault at all.
it isn't. But a lot of people, I think, have tried to sue
That is so
those
funny.
type of companies.
That is hilarious.
I testified against my own father in court because I couldn't take it anymore.
You're guilty.
My father, 37 male, and I, 19 female, have not had a relationship since a court proceeding back in May. My father married my stepmother, 34 female, when I was 7 years old. From what I know, they had an okay relationship with a lot of ups and downs as they were both rather young at the time. Together, they had 2 boys, now 6 male and 11 male. By the way, this was submitted straight to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and this is from Throwaway133428. And if you'd like to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah,
I'm Sophia.
and we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. Obviously, we would only know what we would do in this situation, so let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, I come from a double divorce family, so growing up, I was in the custody of my mother, 36 female. I rarely saw my dad, but from the limited contact we had, he was a good dad. And for years, I wanted to live with him rather than my mother. When I was 14, my mother's parental rights were terminated and she was sentenced to prison. What?
Dang. You had a lot going on in your childhood.
Whoa! Because of that, I was sent to live with my father and stepmother. For the next 4 years, things were okay. I adjusted to a new state, a new family, new rules, and a completely new life, but my father struggled with being a full-time parent. I think he had difficulty transitioning from being a visitation parent to being present all the time. Things were better in the sense that I was in a stable home, attending private school, and my dad was financially well off. Unfortunately, during this time, my father began drinking booze daily. Over the years, his behavior emotionally and physically began to worsen over time in the home. By the time I graduated, my stepmother and father had separated. I was very close with my stepmother, and she truly became a mother figure to me. My dad did not take the separation well and constantly jumped between hating her and begging her to come back. She had simply had enough, and I do not blame her at all. She did what was right for her. Right before I started college, my dad began dating again and was constantly bringing new women around while drinking heavily. He also started neglecting his parental duties toward my younger brothers, which caused me to step into that role instead. Eventually, I moved out for college, but I maintained a relationship with both my ex-stepmother, who I will continue to call my stepmother for clarity, and my father. At the time, I did not realize that I was the only one actively trying to maintain a relationship with my father. He rarely reached out, barely made plans, and often did not show up when he did. He did not try to maintain his role as my father. One time in particular, I was suffering from a severe sinus and respiratory infection and begged him to bring me a humidifier. He lived about 25 minutes away and told me he would bring it, but he never showed up. This was a constant pattern as I was practically begging him to show up for me. It is also relevant that I have no family where I live and no relationship with my mother. The only adults I had in my life were my ex-stepmother and my father. Eventually, my dad decided to settle down with a woman, 42 female, that I will call Mary. Once again, my dad chose spending time with Mary over spending time with me. It reached a point where my dad would only see me if Mary was present. Due to my immaturity and lack of experience, considering I was only 18 at the time, I allowed this to continue. I kept begging him to see me or even talk to me on the phone. Maybe it was because I felt lonely and sad, or maybe I had low standards for the people in my life. I was confused because up until that point, I had been a perfect daughter. I had perfect grades, graduated with my associate's degree, paid for my own college, and worked full-time while attending school. Good for you,
Nice,
OP.
that's impressive.
That's very impressive. Not a lot of people can do that. I could not understand why none of my efforts seemed to matter to him. Fast forward to one late Thursday night. My father's girlfriend, Mary, messaged me asking if I had heard from my dad. I had not, since he never answered my texts. Turns out he had sent her a cryptic message suggesting he was going to seriously hurt himself. Yikes.
Big yikes.
The next few hours were a blur, as Mary and I spent hours driving up and down mountain roads and tracking his phone to find him. He fought with the police, and for hours we could not locate him. Eventually he was found and was physically okay, but incredibly intoxicated and angry. During the situation, I informed my ex-stepmother about what was happening, not only because I needed support, but because he is also the father of her children. Due to his erratic behavior, my ex-stepmother filed an emergency custody claim for my brothers. She was unsure what his next move would be and wanted to protect them. That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
My father was furious and claimed the entire situation was a misunderstanding and that we were taking everything out of context.
Are we though?
Sounds like a lot of people got involved for something that you caused.
Mhm.
My stepmother then asked if I would be willing to testify as a witness to the situation. At the same time, my father approached me and asked me to lie and cover for him as a witness.
Well, I don't like you, Dad, so no.
Yeah, and to lie and to cover for you? Like,
Yeah.
no. I took a couple of days to think about it, but I knew the right choice was to be honest and tell the truth. I also knew that doing so would make my father angry with me. I hoped he would be somewhat understanding and would still choose to be there for me in the end. When the court case took place, I was truthful. I never said anything intentionally harmful about his character, but I also did not lie. He did not lose custody, but he was required to complete certain treatment plans. What followed was a wave of anger and retaliation. He immediately turned off my phone, blocked my number, changed the locks on the house, and essentially cut me off completely. I scrambled to figure out my new life and find a place to live. Thankfully, a friend's family allowed me to stay in their home. He sent explosive messages calling me disloyal and saying I was supposed to honor him. Well, Your Honor, you're not the honor.
Yeah, Your Honor, I object.
Your Honor, that's perjury.
Your Honor, hearsay.
You know what, Honor? You look good tonight.
Order. Order. Can
Order?
I take you out?
Can I take your order? It was pure hatred being spewed at me. He cut me off from any contact with my family and barred me from the house entirely. I was unable to retrieve my personal records for months and lived in constant fear that he would take away my life insurance. By the way, we'll never take away full episodes and stories just like this one. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and type in OK Storytime. Still a little bit left, but any final thoughts?
I mean, literally, it doesn't really matter what your dad says, because right now it's a pretty easy choice. It's lying for your dad who sucks and potentially going to jail, or not going to jail and supporting your stepmother who is cool.
Yeah.
So
Seems like
you're not the
pretty,
a-hole.
pretty clear choice to me here.
Yeah, clear cut.
Things have been somewhat civil since then. I did allow him to have my new phone number. We have only spoken once or twice since, and both times were initiated by him texting me at 2 a.m. Why? You're not going to go into detail?
Strange. He's like, you up? It's
Yeah.
dad.
You up? It's me, Dad. I have not been invited to any holidays, birthdays, or family events. Life has been slow and lonely. I see my ex-stepmother frequently, but she also has her biological children to focus on. Most of the time, I am alone. I will most likely spend Christmas alone, and it makes me wonder if I did the right thing. I question whether it was worth all the suffering I went through. If anyone has been in a similar situation, I would appreciate any perspective. At the same time, I know he barely tried to be there anyway, but I still miss having an actual parent.
Okay.
Of course you do.
Yeah, absolutely. You did the
Yeah.
right thing, OP. Just like literally in the eyes of the law, but also just for yourself. You did the right
Yeah.
thing. Also in terms of you being alone for Christmas, I mean, you can't do anything in the night, but my recommendation is go volunteer. It's like the best
Aw.
thing. My cousin and her mom almost every holiday will go and volunteer at like a soup kitchen. Last time I think they worked on a farm and stuff.
That's
And-
actually so nice.
Yeah.
It's such a great idea.
It allows you to have a sense of community.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty fun.
Yeah, you meet new people.
yeah.
You get involved.
And also sometimes those people are like super open doors and they're like, hey, do you want to come celebrate with us?
Yeah.
That's not, can't promise that part,
Yeah.
but sometimes it happens.
That's actually a very good idea.
Yeah.
Comment number 1, I think that you stayed true to your character, even if it was difficult for you. I don't think there is some magical instance or situation that would suddenly change your father. If he was consistently not there for you and neglectful, it doesn't seem likely that anything would have changed that for long term. I know it's hard and you just want your father to be a father, but he's not. Seems like you have a good head on your shoulders and have done well for yourself. I would focus on yourself and surrounding yourself with people who love you and value you. You are not an option or second thought or means to an end. You have feelings and they matter. Well said. Comment number 2, I'm sorry that your biological parents both suck. But you are strong and keep proving it in all of your actions. You've got a great moral compass that wouldn't allow you to lie to your father. He's got issues and has never really been there as a parental figure or role model in your life. It may sound harsh, but you're better off without him bringing you down. Sometimes no parent is better than a crappy one. True. You got this, girl. Focus on you and making your life the one that you truly want.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
the
Focus
end.
on like creating a support system that is not your dad. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's not very supportive.
Yeah, finding like spending time with friends or like
Yeah.
even as Sophia said, like volunteering or, like
Some community event.
yeah, like some type of community, even getting involved in like clubs or something,
Mhm.
finding like interests and then, meeting people with that same interest. Like that is such a good feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in this,
Yeah.
So just doing that.
Start
also.
working at like some Jewish owned businesses. You'll be busy on Christmas.
You'll be so busy.
My father wanted to reconnect after years of control, so I gave him an ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Ultimatum.
I, 33 male, do not have the best relationship with my father. In fact, I resent him. It wasn't always like this. Now I can't look at or think about him without getting heated. The resentment feels constant and heavy. By the way, this comes from Doot64, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, this story goes back to 2011 when I got accepted into college. It wasn't my first choice, but it was a good school, and I was proud. A little background. I was diagnosed with severe ADHD as a kid, and also had a learning disability. For me, college was a dream. My mother went to Ivy League, and my father was a second-generation college student, so higher education was always an expectation in my family. As a kid, my first grade teacher once said in front of the whole class that I'd never go to college and would be lucky to get a job flipping burgers at Burger King. Seriously, F that witch. I worked hard in high school, took honors and AP classes, played football, and eventually got into 3 universities. I chose my safe school mostly to gain some independence from home. When I got my acceptance letter, everyone was happy, especially my father. The very next day, he changed. He started by pushing me to join AFROTC, which I wasn't interested in, and then pushed me to major in engineering. I've never been into math or science, and my passion was history. He pressured me relentlessly and recruited family, friends, and engineers to do the same. He framed it as all part of his master plan. He's like, here's the plan. Well, actually, that's what it says. Here's the plan, he said with a crap-eating grin. You're going to learn how to become an engineer. We're going to build a machine. And then we're going to take over the tri-state area.
Oh no.
That's the plan.
It's the origin story.
Yes. He told me I was going to take engineering so I could get a great job after college. Once I got that job, he said he wouldn't pay my loans. It sounded practical on the surface, but I wasn't interested. Wait, what? He said, here's the plan. You're going to take engineering. And then after that, I'm not going to pay for it.
Because you're going to get a great job and you will be able to pay for it.
And then you're going to pay for me. How do we like this?
Hmm?
I'm open to no critique.
I'm open to nothing.
He turned my entire college experience into something about him. He dictated which clubs I could join, stopped me from playing football, and even forced me into a crappy minimum wage union job that ate into my checks. Eventually, I put my foot down and said I was taking history. He looked like I had canceled Christmas. The disappointment on his face was unmistakable. 2 weeks later, he gave me the ultimatum. He told me that since he paid the piper, he picked the tune. If I didn't do engineering, he would cut off my college fund.
backed into a corner, I gave in. That sucks. He sucks. I hated every second of it. I was miserable, behind in my classes, exhausted, and ashamed. Eventually, I switched to political science since I had always been interested in law. When I told my dad, I expected at least some understanding. Instead, he looked me in the eye and told me I should be disowned. That moment broke me. It felt cold, calculated, and cruel. He called me selfish and reckless. He reminded me constantly that he was my benefactor and still demanded control over my life. From there, things only got worse. There was constant fighting, manipulation, snooping, and gaslighting. He even used my autistic brother to dig into my transcripts and report back to him. Years passed after that. I blocked him for a while and eventually limited communication to email only. I didn't invite him to my graduation. Later, when I ranted to my mom about how much I resented him, he overheard the conversation on speakerphone. He claimed he was shocked and hurt that I felt that way. He's like, What are you talking about? You don't like me? And he's like, you literally told me that you wanted to disown me. And he's like, well, I didn't mean that in a mean way.
It was like, I hate you but love you, but like maybe there was more hate in that moment,
I
but
mostly
there's
hate
still
you.
love.
You're welcome. I half apologized just to keep the peace in the family. Fast forward to now, and I'm a homeowner, engaged to an amazing woman, and working toward law school. Freaking law school is pretty impressive. Why does he only want you to be an engineer? My dad found out about an engagement through a family friend. Since retiring, he has suddenly wanted to rebuild our relationship. Against my better judgment, I let him visit. I set simple boundaries, and he agreed to them. During the visit, he spilled kombucha all over my carpet and got mad at me for being upset about it. He made me wait 15 minutes at a golf course because he was drinking with strangers. He criticized my house and suggested upgrades he had no intention of paying for. He referred to me as his dinner companion during a business call instead of his son.
That's crazy.
Sounds so much more sketchy. My dinner companion?
Yeah, what?
Are you having
I'd
an
be like,
affair? What? He passed out wasted and nearly burned down my kitchen by leaving chili on the stove. I completely lost it on him. By the end of the visit, I told him I flat out don't trust him. I told him he's selfish, self-righteous, and throws tantrums when he doesn't get his way. I told him that if he weren't family, I would have cut him out years ago. The next morning, I drove him to the airport. There was no hug, no goodbye. He just walked off. Now he wants to try again, but I honestly don't see the point. He destroyed my trust years ago, and nothing has changed. And there is an update 2 months later, but do you have any thoughts?
Two people have a say in a relationship. You can't just like force someone to be like, no, you like me. No, I'm your dad. You have to love me. You have to like look up to me. You have to, see me as this. But it's like, but from what you're saying and what you're doing, your actions and words are not matching up to like how you want me to see you. So like it's not working. Like something's not working, and to me it's more toxic. Like I feel more stressed with you than I do happy, and it's not worth it to me,
Hi everyone, I know it's been a while, but there was an entire campaign from my family telling me to let it go and reminding me that I only have one father. Yeah, one father who sucks.
Yeah.
My father even reached out hoping to talk more. After several weeks of therapy discussing this, I think I found a solution. He wants to get back into my life, and that's fine, but I'm setting conditions. Can the first condition be that you don't come back into my life? Condition number 1, I don't see you. I showed my sister and brother these conditions. My sister kept it professional and said she would look into it. My brother thought it was going to an extreme and said the list was impossible for him to honor. I don't want it to be easy. I want to know he can actually respect boundaries. Some people might agree with my brother. Others might still suggest cutting him off entirely. I just want to know if this is too extreme. Below is the mediation statement I prepared. Mediation statement. Background. My father has spent years exerting control over my life in ways that were selfish, damaging, and entirely unjustifiable. He dictated my academic path, interfered with my career choices, and dismissed my goals in favor of his own. Most of it was driven by saving himself money or maintaining control. These choices sabotaged my academic record, limited my opportunities, and caused long-term harm. He did this knowingly and without regard for the consequences to me. He also controlled where I worked, even when better opportunities were available. I was forced to tell people I wasn't allowed to pursue other jobs. That dynamic made me feel weak, subordinate, and trapped. No parent should ever put their child in that position. There were additional boundary violations, including using my brother to access my private academic records and coercing me into printing them out illegally. That was not a mistake, that was manipulation. All of this has created one unshakable truth: I do not trust him. Now he wants back into my life. If that happens, it will be under strict and immovable conditions. I am not returning to a dynamic where my voice is buried and my choices are overridden. That era of my life is permanently over. Non-negotiable boundaries. When I say stop, you stop. If I end a conversation or shut down a topic, that is the end of it. There will be no arguing, lecturing, or pushing. 2. No unsolicited advice. If I wanted your opinion, I will ask for it. Otherwise, keep it to yourself. You lost the privilege of directing my life a long time ago. 3. No criticism unless you're fixing the problem. If you think something in my house needs work, you can volunteer to handle it. Complaints without action are not welcome. Number 4. You do not have automatic access to me or my home. You visit only when invited and only on my terms. No surprise visits, and no inserting yourself where you are not wanted. Number 5. You need therapy. Your controlling behavior, manipulation, and emotional disregard are harmful. This is a condition, not a suggestion. You must accept your role in the damage you caused. You are the bad guy in my story because of your actions. Acknowledging that is your responsibility if you want any chance at rebuilding trust. This is your final chance. If you violate these boundaries even once, I am done. There will be no more warnings and no second chances. Why these boundaries exist? This is a very formal document. These boundaries exist because your history proves that without strict limits, you will overstep, manipulate, control, and damage. I refuse to repeat that past. I am not the child you could push around anymore. If you want a relationship moving forward, this is the only way it happens. If you cannot handle that, then we part ways here. By the way, I hope we never part ways because we got full episodes of stories just like this for you to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think it's just going to go in a direction of no contact,
I agree.
I feel. So
I do agree with that. I fear that I agree. I know some people might think this is extreme, but I would not even consider this if I trusted him. Am I taking this too far? Am I the a-hole for wanting to keep him at arm's length? Am I being unreasonable? No. Like, do I think that this thingy is, like, super technical and, like, lawyery and long? Yeah. Honestly, I hope that it deters him from wanting a relationship with you because he's a bad guy.
Then it's what you want.
Yeah, then it's having the intended effect. Comments. Comment 1 says, 6 is where he will fail. A self-absorbed person will never admit they are wrong. Be prepared for no contact and stop giving him so much power in your life. Select the job you want. You're an adult now. It's your choice. OP says, I'm thinking I'm going to start a betting pool. How long do you think it'll last? On a real note, I learned from my siblings that he did the same with every single one of them. Well, that's nice to know. I feel like it's nice to have the comfort of being like, oh, I'm not the only one that he's treated this poorly. Update 2. My sister has given him the list and he has declared that he accepts everything. I am not very hopeful, but we'll see how long it lasts. And that is the end of that story.
I refused my father's custody because he treats me like a free babysitter.
You're not a free babysitter. Get your money.
I, 15 female, have been dealing with my parents, 42 male and 38 female, split custody since I was 5. And I'm sick of it. Here's a little background. My parents divorced when I was 5 for reasons they have kept vague to me and my brother, 9 male. From what I have understood, they never actually wanted to get married. They only got married after they found out they accidentally conceived me. My brother was a thought, but he was not planned either. They divorced before he was even 1. By the way, this comes from Dingy Cat 2771. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, my dad remarried when I was about 7 or 8. My stepmother, 40 female, is a lovely woman who has 2 boys, 12 male and 15 male, from her previous marriage. Their dad does not have custody rights, but that is not my part to talk about. When I was 9, they had my half-brother, 5 male. The split custody has always bothered me. Before my dad remarried, there was not a set switching schedule. It was every 2 or 3 days, depending on what was going on. It stressed me out and caused me to lash out. I did not understand my emotions and got in a lot of trouble. My stepmother was the one who suggested switching every Friday. Even though it has gotten a lot better, I hate the predicament I'm in. My dad's house is rough, lots of yelling, and a tense environment. That does not help at all with what I want to grow up around. I am always on edge and have no appetite. It honestly really messes me up when I'm over there. My mom is still single, but her house is much more comforting. I'm closer to family, and my anxiety levels go way down. There's less yelling, and we actually talk about our problems. I feel like I can be myself there. I always feel guilty about wanting to stay at my mom's and leave my brothers behind. I basically have to raise my half-brother with all the stuff they have going on. It's like we never stop over there. My stepmother is very extroverted and always has people over. She has never understood the fact that I prefer to hang out in my room while everyone is laughing outside. I like my recharge time after a long day at school. I am technically a freshman, but I am the current head of my class, taking mostly sophomore and junior classes.
You got a little
Go
smarty
you, OP.
pants. A little smarty pants with some AP courses over here. Go you.
My school just let you take the sophomore junior ones.
Ours
You
was
could just
like
take grades up.
Ours was like strictly AP and like you couldn't go.
Oh, no, they let you jump in freshman year already as a sophomore, and then you could keep taking a year up.
Actually,
That
no.
was
If
I
you wanted.
take it
That's
back.
for all your classes?
I didn't do the program, but you could.
Oh, I see.
if
They
you
only
wanted
let
to.
freshmen drop to sophomore classes. They wouldn't let you do junior. It was too
Yeah,
much.
I think we only could do that, but it was for certain classes like math, and I probably one more, but I don't remember it.
I think you could jump at 2 grades up most. We got yelled at if we do not work as soon as we get home around the house. I, being the only girl, usually take responsibility and do most of the chores. No, I'm sorry, OP. I'm exhausted by the time I finally sit down to read and recharge. That is right around the time my dad and stepmother get home from work. She is always pissed that we're not working. Not to mention that I am always the babysitter. My half-brother is not old enough to do anything by himself yet. When I am stuck on mom duty, I have to cook for him, make sure he eats, bathe him, get him pajamas, and get him to bed on time.
What the heck?
This is on top of my daily chores, homework, and a day of school. I'm tired. Now that it has been said, I will explain why I am writing this. I am currently taking driver's ed. It is the last weekend before the holiday break ends, and we do not have school tomorrow, Monday, because of a teacher's in service. It is technically my dad's weekend, but I stayed the night at my mom's so she could drive me to driver's ed. I was supposed to spend the night with her too. It has been a long day, and tomorrow is my last day to enjoy the break before re-entering the heck hole that is high school.
Yeah, that's true.
We were going to watch The Emperor's New Groove and eat ice cream. My dad was supposed to pick me up tomorrow, but that is no longer the case. My dad just called, telling my mom he was on his way to pick me up. We both almost started crying. It upsets me just writing about it. It is his week, so there's nothing we can really do. He's picking me up so I can watch my brother tomorrow while my dad and stepmother go to work. My older stepbrother was supposed to watch him. I'm not sure what came up, but it will probably be in the next update. My mom has continually talked about getting full custody of me and my full brother, but I have always said no, not wanting to abandon my other brothers, as I said earlier. I am really thinking about it now. I am stressed and tired and about to lose my last day of peace. I understand that I cannot blame my dad and stepmother much. It is not their fault they have to work. I just hate being the safety net. I want a break. I also get really bad panic attacks at my dad's, which are often dismissed or get me in more trouble. I've tried talking to my dad and stepmother, and they have said it's just my anxiety talking, that I'm fine. They joke that I'm a teen mom.
That's where you're a teen mom, haha. You pushed my button. That was the button. I'm staying with mom. Like, I get it, OP. You are a 15-year-old girl trying to just survive, and
well,
like
she can't make the call ultimately.
I
They'd
would
have to do the custody
I would bring
thing.
this up with your mom. Has she? I feel like she has.
I feel like she has. I feel like it's the dad
but
now.
but it's like at this point, mom's trying to fight for custody. which makes sense. But the fact that they're like prancing around it.
Oh, okay, wait.
Oh, go for it.
They joke that I'm a teen mom. My mom's side of the family does too.
And then that's when I'm like, it's not a joke because I am technically a teen mom. I'm the one who's taking care. The fact that you're doing all those
Right.
things and you have an older stepbrother,
How about you guys parent your kids? Because I didn't have them.
I would be like, okay, stop guilting me into doing this. I think this is ridiculous, but at this point, I know you're trying to, be there for your younger brothers
She's
or younger
so
brother.
young, though.
But this is like the thing of like, this is at the cost of your expense.
Yeah. I feel guilty for thinking about it. I know you are not supposed to ask for advice, but what would you do if you were in my shoes? My dad is pulling up. I will probably update soon. And we have that update.
Straight into it.
Let's go. Thank you for all the support already. Not to immediately jump to my dad and stepmother's defenses, but it is not complete mistreatment. That is probably why I feel so bad. They love me and support the majority of my decisions. I did look up parentification, and it feels kind of accurate. I also realized I accidentally posted this twice under 2 different names. If you see the post, sorry. Update 2. Just got back to my dad's, and now my feelings are kind of hurt. It feels kind of stupid, honestly. My stepmother's best friend, who is considered our aunt, is having apartment issues due to the storm in our town. Her roof is leaking, so they decided she can stay with us.
Oh, good. Now you have a replacement.
Right, so why did I have to come back and miss my movie day with mom?
Yeah, you should have a replacement, right?
I only just found this out as I got here. We do not have a spare room, but we have a set of bunk beds in the upstairs loft where my brother's rooms are. My aunt will be taking my bed, and I have to sleep upstairs. I'm not really mad, just a little hurt I was not told. She is not a small lady, not in a bad way. She is diabetic, so I completely understand the thought process behind her getting my downstairs queen bed. I just do not like sleeping anywhere other than my bed, especially after a switch.
Why are they always? It's like, all right, we have other beds. There's an older stepbrother.
Right, and now this is a 15-year-old girl sharing a room with a 9-year-old boy and a younger boy.
Why does the stepbrother? It seems like there's nothing about him in the story.
Maybe he's just chill.
Doesn't sound like it because he ain't doing a dang thing.
He's like 6 or 7.
No, the older
he's
stepbrother.
5.
There's an older stepbrother.
Oh, yeah, the one
Yeah,
that was supposed to
5-year-old,
watch
why aren't
him.
you doing
We
it?
didn't get the update on where he was. He was supposed to watch them.
If he's like in college, that's one thing. But if he's at home or like in high school,
He's probably doing the same thing when she's at the mom's.
I would like to know.
Okay, update 3. We are technically in family therapy, but I have never been invited to a family session. It's mostly for my dad and older stepbrother. They cause most of the tension in the house. They said they wanted to get me my own therapist, but nothing's been done about it in months. I do chores at both houses, but people who come over have said that the housework my dad relies on us for is excessive. I'm not upset anymore. It's not anyone's fault my aunt has to stay. I think I just wanted to vent and get some stuff off my chest. Still open for more advice. These comments make me feel better and are helping me build the courage to talk about it. Update 4. We'll just get right into all these.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like I overreacted. I am going to add some more context to me watching my brother. It really is a hassle. He is very ADHD and is just insane. As I said before, I have basically been raising him since birth and not doing a great job. So he is really bossy and throws tantrums. He is used to getting what he wants and does not get disciplined. He is babied, and because I am not his parent, I am not allowed to discipline my way.
You shouldn't have a way. You're a 15-year-old girl.
You shouldn't be parenting. I have gotten in a lot of trouble for fussing at him, and we have update 5 the next morning.
Oh, gosh.
I slept on the couch. Oh my god, she didn't even get to sleep in the bunk beds.
Jeez.
Like garbage, and I'm really tired. My stepmother woke me up around 6, saying I could sleep in their bed with my half-brother until I need to wake up and help. Woke up again around 11 to people jumping on me and cursing me out. Love my brothers. I did chores, and now I'm hiding in my room again until my dad picks all my brothers up except for my half-brother. I think I'm going to try to talk to my mom, but I still do not know. Advice, please. And I have some advice for you, and that's to go listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search up OK Storytime. And what advice do you have for OP?
Talk to your mom. You're not going to get in trouble for talking to your mom and letting her know about this.
Yeah.
Is your dad going to be upset at you? How could he be upset? This is just the truth.
Right.
And
I can't keep doing this. It's
I can't keep doing this.
draining.
I can't keep being treated like this.
Parent your kids.
Like, this is ridiculous to an extreme level because you've been doing this for so long. I feel like, one, you definitely need therapy. You definitely need to bring that up to your mom. Like, I was told I was going to get therapy, haven't gotten it. I really want therapy, at least for myself, if anything.
Yeah.
Because I have anxiety to the roof at Dad's place, and I
Yeah.
wonder why with all those things going on. So I would definitely talk to your mom because it seems like if you talk to your stepmother or your father, one ear out the other.
Agreed. And update 6 is about what are the custody laws for teenagers wanting a certain parent in Louisiana. So I guess they're in Louisiana. And this is posted on r/legal advice. This is kind of a continuation of the post. I was trying to keep really personal stuff, names and locations out of it, but I've come to the conclusion that telling my state will help me gain information. I've done previous research on the legalities of Louisiana custody, but I haven't found a clear answer. I, 15 female, want to live with my mom full time, explained in my previous post, but they don't have a real custody arrangement. There really aren't any custody documentations as far as I know. I'm not sure what that means or if I can even plead my case, and that is the end of that story.